Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome,
How are you?
welcome. It's been a while.
Yes, yes. So Kayla is still alive
Yep, I'm alive, barely. Holding
here.
on by a thread. I'm just kidding. I'm better now. I've recovered, sort
So
of.
we're very happy to have you. Very
Thank
happy.
you. It's been a sad week. I definitely consumed cringe, but creating cringe-fluencers, there was a big hole in my heart last week. And so,
Oh,
yeah, it's true. I missed it so much. I'm like, God, life's so boring without cringe-fluencers.
I agree. I don't know why, but I think we've created this routine like on Thursdays. Like I feel
Yeah.
like my life is empty. I'm like, what's going on?
It's like, I guess I'll just stare at the wall for the next 4 hours because I've already
Yeah.
scheduled this time in my mind.
Exactly, exactly. So, yeah, we are. This is probably like what's it called? Like a full disclosure thing. We're both working on the same video.
Sort of, sort
So
of.
the same guy,
Same
different
dude.
video. But yeah, we're both working on videos about Jay Shetty, you guys. So keep your eye on for that one because it would be interesting.
Yes. And it's funny because we were talking when the countdown was going down and we were like, I said this. Yeah, I said the same thing. So it's like we got the same vibes about what type of dude
Yeah.
he is.
Scammy vibes, I would say. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Jay
far we
Scammy.
don't know for sure. Jay Shitty.
Jay Shitty, Jay Shady, Jay Scammy. He fits
Yeah,
all of the above
yeah.
so
I
far.
can't wait to see your video. Like, it'll be so interesting.
I can't wait to see your video. Oh my God, we can compare
Oh,
notes.
stop it. But in today's video, we're talking about the guy who discovered Jay Shetty, actually.
He did. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tom Bilyeu is the first to interview Jay Shetty, and his video on him that was posted in 2018, I think, got like 5 million views. So it
I
went
did include that.
insanely viral.
Yeah.
And
Insanely
that was,
viral.
yeah. And then by basically, sorry, by my standards, like, of getting like 2,000 views, I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
I've never seen a video that viewed before in my life. 10,000.
Can't wait for my video to get 5 million views, but
Same.
5,000. See, I manifested that was.
You woman fested. See? Gotta aim for the stars. Aim for those spirit
Exactly.
guides.
But yeah, Tom Bilyeu, the guy that we're talking about today, he discovered Jay Shetty, and we have this scammer to thank him for.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Well done.
Good
Okay,
work.
so I think before we talked about Lisa Bilyeu, his wife, but you covered that a few weeks ago, months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how long ago, but yeah, not too long ago. And Lisa, she's the one with the swoopy hair and like the braids, and she's very thin and tiny. And her role is Tom's wife. That's her role in life, which I think sucks because I actually have come, and maybe this is after the show we talked about her. I've come to like her more and more, and I'm rooting for her to like get out of this relationship and like be her own person because I think she is cool. Personally,
Wow.
I think he brings her down.
Oh, yeah, probably.
And maybe my dreams will be slashed when and if they get divorced and like she goes on her own. But I have hope. Girl power. Woo!
I have also a theory that they're like on the brink of divorce or something.
Yeah.
I think they recently had an anniversary and like just when couples like post on social and they're all about like we had our good and bad days and stuff and it's like oh shit, okay.
Yeah, it's like through the ups and they've been married for like 2 seconds. It's like through the ups and the downs, the hardest times of our life, we've made it through. It's like you've been married, you're on your honeymoon as you speak. What are you talking about?
Do you even have the marriage certificate yet?
We almost didn't make it, but here we are, stronger than ever. It's like, okay. Weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
those vibes.
Um, for Tom and Lisa, I think they have like 20 years, I think. 20,
Yes,
right? Like,
20.
I'm not
I think
mistaken.
that's
Okay.
correct. I'll find the,
Yeah,
here.
and they just, yeah, there you go. They just celebrated literally like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I mean, happy 20th anniversary, you guys.
Much love. Here's
Let
some
us
tips.
know. Let us know if we can help with the divorce thing.
20 tips to make, they should have done 20. Why would they only say 9? If you're 20 years of marriage, do 20 tips. They missed out on an opportunity here.
Yeah.
Call your social media manager and fire them.
Yeah, it's their fault anyway.
Yeah. They're like, we only expected to be married for 9 years, so we only made 9 rules.
Yeah.
This is actually bonus
Shit,
years.
we ran out of ideas after year 9. Be honest. Yeah, well, that's a big one. So
Number 5
have
is my
sex
favorite.
soft. I love that they want to just replicate Dave and Hollis's train wreck of a marriage, because they were also like, oh, we make out all the time.
That's a telltale sign too. If you see someone posting on Facebook like, me and my husband are partaking in the 30-day sex everyday challenge, they're headed for divorce. Straight, they're heading to the lawyer's office in 6 months. That's like a telltale sign.
Or like Heidi and Chris Powell, they were already at the divorce lawyer's office, and then they took the challenge.
In the parking lot, if I remember correctly. They're like, all right, let's start day 1 in the divorce lawyer's parking lot.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So these guys have been married for a long time, but the way they met is very interesting, and it kind of tells you a little bit about who Tom is, or who, I was gonna say who he was, but he's still married to her, so I guess
True. Who he is and was.
Yeah, but there was like a bit of a power imbalance from the get-go, because he was her teacher. Should we watch? Maybe let's watch some of that interview from Omar.
Yeah, this is Omar, our friend Omar. We love Omar. We are the passionate few.
Oh yeah. This is so cringe.
We don't know Omar. We're just kidding. Apparently he said he's an up and coming self-help person. So we got to give him time before we can smack on
Omar
him.
has this thing where he name drops Tony. He doesn't even say Tony Robbins. It's Tony.
Maybe it's soprano.
It's like what Tony says. It's like, have you ever heard Tony talk about this? And I saw this in an interview with Tom, and I was like, okay, this is so cringe. Maybe we should do a cringe on Omar someday.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We got to give him time. He needs like a couple more subs. He's got 146,000 subscribers. So maybe when he hits 150, we can like snark. We can celebrate his anniversary of his celebration. So this is his channel. It's recorded in Tom Bilyeu's studio, well, Tom and Lisa's studio, Impact Theory. So, but it's not on their channel.
Yeah.
Okay. I have not finished this because it's an hour and 37 minutes, but I've watched the beginning of this multiple times, and it is definitely like one of the most cringy videos I've seen of these influencer people. So I'm excited that we finally get the chance to watch it on stream.
Agreed. This is a very good intro.
There's some romantic like stories, and I'm like, yeah. Well, they'll see. They'll understand very shortly.
Oh, we can't hear it. Damn it.
Okay, hold on. That's my fault, and I figured out how to fix it.
Oh yay! This is a.
And we are the.
See?
Oh, there you go. so strong.
Thank God. Okay, let's go back. Sorry. Okay, we need the full experience.
Well done.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Bilyeu.
And I'm Lisa Bilyeu.
And we are the Passionate Few.
How many takes do you think?
A few.
All right, love the interview. There's a reason that we decided to do a second round with this man here. Omar's questions are absolutely phenomenal. They are well thought out. He does his research. He really is one of the best interviewers out there. And I'm telling you, he's
never been interviewed by us.
But Omar really is special, so it was exciting to be back.
We do our research fucking hard.
Welcome to this episode of The Passionate Few. It's your host, Omar here, and today we have a very special episode with the power couple that is the billion-dollar founders of Quest Nutrition, Tom and Lisa Bilyeu. And in today's interview, we go deep about their story,
Debatable.
how the couple met, and also some of the nuances of their relationship.
What's with
Not
the
only
music?
as Tom shares things he's never shared before,
So
but also how the
tragic.
couple built the billion-dollar
It's
Quest
like
bar brand from scratch. Their mission now,
required for
and there's
every
tons of
self-help
lessons in this
video.
interview, jam-packed, whether it's entrepreneurship, relationships, or practical advice that you can apply right now to take your mindset to the next level. So with no further ado, I want to encourage you guys to sit back, relax, enjoy the billion-dollar power couple interview with none other than Tom and Lisa Bilyeu. Enjoy.
Hold on, before we get there, just want to say there's some discrepancy whether Tom and Lisa were the founders of Quest Nutrition. If you were to look at their website right now, it does. Oh, we can show that real quick. It does not show Tom and Lisa. It shows Shannon and Ron.
Yeah.
So,
Look, this is just technicalities, okay?
Okay.
Like the truth is just a matter of semantics.
Uh-huh.
So Tom, so Tom and Ron,
Tom and
then
Ron.
Shannon, and I think there was one more guy, but I forget what his name was.
Mike.
They
or
used to
something.
work together back in the day, you know. Tom was hired for their company as a copywriter, and he rose through the ranks and just got to be one of the top employees in the company. Eventually, they gave him something like 10% of the shares of the company or something like that. And he took it. Apparently, he couldn't believe that other employees wouldn't take that deal, and he did. So eventually he was like fed up with it. So he decided to leave. And then as a like it's very inspiring plot point, he decided to talk to the guys to Ron with, and I don't remember what
I
the other
think
guy's
it's
name
Mike, if I'm not mistaken. But the company was like data analysis or something. It had nothing to do with nutrition or fitness or anything. It was like a totally different company than Quest.
Yeah, it was something. It was like I knew the name. I can't remember, but it was a tech company. And I think they were providing consulting services in tech. So nothing to do with nutrition
Yeah.
whatsoever. But at one point Tom realized that that was all for the money, and he he wanted more.
This reminds me of Jay Shetty's
So-
story. He found out it was all for the money, so then he gave it up to then pursue for all the money.
He gave up a job that was paying him like 50 grand a year to then pursue being a billionaire,
Yeah. Very virtuous. Very
Yeah.
humble.
Exactly.
Humble king.
And Tom has spoken many times about Quest, and he says that their mission was to cure
Metabolic.
metabolic disease, but their the way that they quantify their success is, did we reach this much money in a year? And I'm like, how did that have anything to do with curing metabolic disease? Because like all their goals were monetary, and their mission was about like the greater good. So
Yeah. I love
You
Tom.
know.
Every time Tom would say that, he's like, our goal is to cure metabolic disease. Also, my family is super overweight and disgusting. And like, I had to live among them. So like, this is an important cause for me.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
he
Tom,
has said that.
thanks.
I actually thought he was obese.
No,
Like
I don't think
he-
so.
No, I don't think he is anymore, or he was
Ever.
anymore.
I don't think
but
he
like,
was ever. Yeah.
but like for a long time I was under the impression that he had been, because the way he spoke about it and the way he always like says, oh, I never touch ice cream, like, oh my god, you wouldn't know. Like the other week I did something really crazy with my wife. We had ice cream.
Oh
and I'm
my
like,
God. Oh my
"Fuck is
God."
going on?"
Stop. Don't even say that. I can't even hear the word ice
So
cream. I will
the way he
gain
talked about
5 pounds.
his family and all this chat, I was convinced that he had been obese and that he had lost a lot of weight. And because I'm like,
No.
why else are you being so passionate against ice cream?
No, it's his family that he's trying to save, apparently. I don't know.
Oh, he has a savior complex.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, that's fun. Yeah, so basically after getting sick of making only 10% of the other company, he decided to start another company, and those guys just jumped at the opportunity because they were also unfulfilled by the fact they were there only for money. So
I think it was the other way. I thought that the two men were like, we're going to start this other company. Come with us. And he was like, okay, I think.
yeah, well, like again, just semantics. Like
cares?
like it depends on who you listen to. If you listen to Tom, he started it. It was his idea. If you listen to Lisa, obviously Tom started it. Tom is a god and he could do no wrong. And if you listen to anyone else,
If you listen to the Quest website, the official website where it says our story.
yeah, if you listen to Quest, they have nothing to do with Tom. So
Yeah.
no, I'm kidding. He actually did get like a hefty payout 2017, I think, or 2016 when he left the company, and that's how he became a billionaire, I think.
Yes. And I do think, and this is unconfirmed, but just from my own like research online and on Glassdoor and stuff, it seems like there was a big leadership change at that time. And a lot of people were upset by Tom's leadership. And then they changed a lot of things, including Tom leaving. I don't know if he was forced out. I would probably assume so, but I'm also biased because I don't like him. So that was my thought, that he may have been pushed out the door. Because
Yeah, I remember you mentioning this, and you had a pretty good theory actually that made a lot of sense, because you said that he had started the studio, the Quest interview, like basically
Inside
what it's
Quest.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
using the
Yeah,
same
it-
color scheme and everything of impact theory. And a lot of people on Glassdoor for Quest during that period of time when Tom was still in leadership said, like, why is the CEO, or I don't remember what his title was at that time, but it was like, why is he making this show about himself when we are like need more staff? Like, why is he hosting Tony Robbins and talking about like, you know, self-help when we need to like hire people and make a better product? Like, he was very, you know, into his own world, and they were pissed about it. That's the vibe that I got from people, at least on Glassdoor.
Yeah, I think that would make sense to me, because like it seems like if you are one of the three founders of a company that is so good, you know, it
Yeah.
seems like a completely dumb idea to just leave all on your own. So
Yeah.
I don't think he would have done it. Even if he wanted to create his own studio, I think it would have made more sense to just do it like aside from, you know, and continue. So it just makes sense. I don't know. I trust your theory that it's like kind of a forced situation where he had no choice.
Yeah, and Lisa also was an employee of Quest, so they both had to leave the company. So it seems like why leave a good thing? But unless someone's telling you you have to leave, you have no choice. But you know, who knows? It's like you
But
said,
Lisa's
semantics.
job was anyway to take care of Tom, right?
Yeah,
So-
primary. Her primary role in life is to coddle Tom at all times.
Lisa is like a young mom for Tom.
Yeah,
But
Tom's
yeah,
mom, Lisa. We just wanted to clarify that about Quest, that like, you know, this whole intro was like, they're billionaire founders, like debatable. I mean, they're billionaires for sure. Or, well, no, that's not true. I don't know if he has $1 billion. The company was evaluated at $1 billion at one point. He took a buyout, has multi-millions. I don't think he's a billionaire himself. I don't think the couple is, but he was a part of a company that was $1 billion company. So therefore, that's what
I think I read a Forbes article that said that he got like a 1 point something. I can't remember exactly the exact number, but he definitely got more than $1 billion.
No, really?
as-
No, him
yeah.
himself? No way.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Let's check. We'll check in the background. I trust you, but I'm shocked by that number because it's like, that's unheard of, like in any nutritional bar company, but maybe, who knows? Okay. I'm going to play it.
Okay. Yeah, let's play it.
Okay.
Thanks for being on the show today, Tom and Lisa.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you so much for being on, Lisa.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So let's get right into it. A lot of
Burberry
people
shirt,
have seen
hey.
obviously what you guys have recently built with Impact Theory. Obviously, you guys co-founded Quest Nutrition. But let's go back to the very beginning. I know we touched on in the last interview where you guys met, but let's give the audience some context. Where did you guys meet and where did this love story all begin?
Baby.
No, you kick it off. I'll chime in.
So I was teaching film, and it was a school for adults. I always feel compelled to mention that. She was one of my students, and that was, the beginning of everything. This was back in 2000. Was when we met, and just hit it off. She was here in America, and I thought, this is wonderful. She is legally obligated to leave the country, so I can have a nice little fling romance, and she'll be leaving, and all will come back to normal. And I did not anticipate falling head over heels in love and changing the entire course of my life.
Wow.
But that was how we met.
I gotta say, Tom plays the role in this interview as like, I'm a player. I don't know who's going for Tom. I don't know. I mean, maybe now, post success, but like, he seems like a goofy ass dude to me. I'm just saying.
He is. I don't see the appeal. Let's
No.
just say that.
He's lucky
I,
to have a firecracker like Lisa, okay?
They definitely look similar to me. Like they make a good couple, physically, I think. But Tom is just sort of insufferable when he speaks. So
yeah.
like that part, I'm just like, I don't know how you can just listen to this guy all day. Or, well, sorry, he works 120 hours a week, so he's never there. So that's how she never has to listen to him.
He works 120 hours a week, like taking their fortune and making it nothing in crypto and NFTs, which I think is what he's doing currently. So she may be leaving him soon. I wonder if that's like spurring the divorce. Like she's like, what's our bank account look like? He's like, it's not $1 billion anymore.
Like, hey baby, remember when you were joking about putting all our money in NFTs? Did you do that?
Yeah, I bought Santa coin. It's so good. Okay.
It should be like, okay, well, no worries.
I'm actually going to take my power back and I'm going to find some radical confidence.
Shout out to Savvy, because I saw her in the comments. Savvy is doing a review of Radical Confidence.
Sorry about that, Savvy. That sounds like a chore. I'm not going to lie. But we have faith.
I look forward to it.
Me too. I'll watch it with earnestness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's keep playing,
Let's
because
keep watching,
the beginning story is pretty interesting.
Yeah. It goes into Tom's advice for men on how to meet women.
And he left out the part that he ignored me for a month and a half.
Yes.
When I first started.
That's just good strategy, though.
It was great strategy. It made me interested.
A little hard to get?
Yeah.
Or?
He really was.
It's not even hard to get. And this is actually, like, I had to learn this. I had no game with women whatsoever in my teens and early 20s.
So you weren't a ladies' man at all?
Not in the slightest. And she literally thought that I was like this big player, and little did she know, not at all the case. But I had finally gotten really frustrated in my early 20s with not being able to get the response from women that I wanted. And so I just said, okay, like anything, this is learnable. So I went to
a pickup artist.
How you,
And they said to just kiss a bunch of women in the
I
streets.
just don't understand why he emphasizes every other word. Like he's like, I was not like a pickup artist.
I was not, as if it's shocking information. Like, yo, bro, like this is
shocking.
what we all thought. Lisa's the only one that's bamboozled here. Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so he's going to show us how to do it, how he did it, how he bagged Lisa.
somebody
definitely-
that had
Sorry.
Sorry.
You're good.
I was gonna say he definitely seems to have that toxic masculinity thing, like, pretend you're not interested, just like definitely don't show
It's the
your real
stupidest
feelings.
thing
Like,
I've ever heard.
yeah,
If you like
yeah,
someone, make sure to ignore them. Okay, thank you, 12-year-old boy.
yeah, exactly. Like in kindergarten, like, oh my God, he beat me with a thing. Like
He must like
clearly he's
me.
interested.
Yeah.
Um,
Lord. Okay. But, he's a billionaire, so we have to take his advice.
yeah.
Had the best luck with women, and I said, all right, dude, what's your strategy? What are you doing? And he was like, oh, Tom, let me tell you, just be an asshole. And I was like, there's no way. This is so stupid. There's no way that's true.
Right.
But I had heard that so many times that I was like, while the words they're using clearly are fundamentally false, what are they really trying to get at? And I realized the thing that they were shorthanding as be an asshole was that to not care whether you win or lose. And so you're completely yourself and you lead with confidence.
To be emotionally abusive to women so that they submit to you and fold your clothes for 8 years.
I wonder if the Matrix was out at that point.
Yeah, I wonder what Keanu would say about this. What does Neo think about being an asshole to women?
No idea. But I don't think they would be happy that their movie has been just reached the incel, territory and has taken a whole new life in there.
Yeah, and this is his, he also has relationship theory, which is one of his brands, I guess their brands, for them to give relationship advice. This is the person who you want to get tips from, the guy who says be an asshole, and what they mean by being an asshole is don't care. It's okay, cool. It gets worse though, everybody. It gets worse. Ready? Want to watch more?
No, let's keep watching it.
Okay.
And you're not trying to win them over. You're just being you. And so
Which is an
I
asshole.
thought, okay, I'm almost certain that's what they mean. So I'm going to stop trying to impress anybody. I'm going to stop trying to get the girl. And I'm literally just going to be aggressively myself. I'm going to be who I am. And when I'm feeling weird and quirky, I'm going to be weird and quirky. When I have something that is shocking to say, but I really believe it, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to shock for the sake of shock. But I'm just going to stop trying to be cool or fit a mold. And dude, that shit worked like a charm.
Okay, that's different than being an asshole. Be yourself is the actual tip there.
Aggressively yourself.
Be aggressively yourself.
I don't know what that means to be aggressively myself.
Be you.
Just tap into the worst parts of myself and be like
care
that.
20 times less than you normally would. Okay. Being an asshole is one tip. It probably works in some cases, not well, but it probably works for some short-term relationships. And then be yourself. Yeah, I think that's pretty, universal advice, but that's not what he's saying, but he's turning it into that, which is
Yeah, well, he read into the advice.
I bled into this.
What do they mean by be an asshole? I don't understand.
Let's unpack that. So when you say be an asshole,
Wait, I am an asshole. So why if I just
be an aggressive asshole is what he meant.
Oh God, I love Tom.
Okay. I love Tom.
And so
Tommy.
getting to that level of being nonchalant, leading with confidence.
She hasn't spoken
not
once
chasing,
yet, by the way.
It
Well, she
reads as ignoring. I wasn't actively ignoring
But
her.
a
I
little
just wasn't making any overtures. I wasn't pursuing her.
But
And
you were
so
interested a little bit. You were interested.
I thought she was attractive. I didn't know her enough to be interested. And
Right.
so I'm not a guy that just ever in my life just tried to go out and get laid.
Right.
So it was I always, even if I
Okay.
was going to have something that, was a one-night engagement, I needed to connect. There needed to be
What?
something there for me. So
A one-night engagement? What
Well,
is he?
like a one-night
Does
stand.
he mean a one-night stand?
Yeah. You should make it
Wow,
sound better.
okay. This is like boomer talk here.
A one-night courting. courtship.
Fair.
We're going to make whoopee for one evening at our Shire. I don't know.
I mean, he's not that short, is he? To be like a
No, I think he's pretty tall.
Yeah, okay. Good. But at least he's got that, you know.
He's got that.
Because Lisa definitely looks short.
Yeah, I think she's pretty tiny, petite, I would say.
Yeah. That's finally one of my own kind. Because every time I see someone like you and Savi and you guys are so tall, I'm like, what is everyone tall aside from like Europeans or what's going on?
Definitely. Well, Savi's Polish, right? So I think I'm Polish too. So maybe that's why. Like I'm half Polish, but maybe it's the Pole in us. We're tall. I'm 5'5", so I'm not average, but
okay, yeah, that's not average.
not average for Romania.
I don't know. Like, there's definitely like my sisters are taller than me, so I don't know. But I'm not. So I see things from down here.
You need to work on being aggressively taller.
Yeah, I'll be aggressively petite.
You're aggressively petite. I like that. And I just want to point out again, like Lisa has said, the only thing she said in the first 5 minutes of this interview is hello. And he didn't say that he ignored me for a month and a half. That's her whole like addition to this interview thus far.
She's only here to support him.
Yeah, she supports him and to point out like, no, actually, you didn't talk to me for a month and a half. And I'll be quiet now.
I can't believe she dared to say that anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, she was radically confident in that moment.
Yeah. What came over her?
That's so mean. I'm sorry, Lisa. Okay.
Yes, there was no question. She is literally my type from just top to bottom. So she had caught my eye in that way, but I didn't know her enough to be like, oh, I would want to pursue it anyway. But as I got to know her, it literally happened the moment I was like, you know what, she actually is pretty interesting. Like that very day was when I made my move. So, yeah.
How about you, Lisa? What was your first impression of Tom?
Yeah, I'd come to America, I'd studied film in England, didn't feel like I had enough practical experience, so I found this one course in Los Angeles, and it was 8 weeks intense, and I thought, this is gonna be so much fun. Day one, I walk in, and he's standing there, and he had the posture of just a confident man, which of course very much attracted me to him. And then he pretty much ignored me, which absolutely worked.
Mm-hmm. As a teacher, you mean?
He just he didn't teach me, but it was...
I love that she's trying to like walk around that, you know. She's trying not to say that he was a teacher. He was a man and he was there. He looked confident and she's not saying the words. And he's like, oh, you mean when I was a teacher?
Yeah, Omar just putting it out there. But he ignored you when he was your teacher, or like when you guys were banging afterwards or during? Which one was it? I asked the deep researched questions.
Exactly. That was so funny.
Yeah, so 8 weeks program. He ignored her for a month and a half, so that's half the program. Okay.
They don't say he's the best interviewer for nothing.
But wait, was he your teacher though, or what?
Did you bang before or after?
Wait, how did you guys meet again? I forgot. Say it again. Okay. At least she's talking now. That's good.
He never went beyond that, but there was something, I don't know, he was cocky enough to get my attention, but yet reserved enough to make me curious. And then he showed his movie to our class. And after that, I was, wow, this guy's very talented. And I realized I'm very drawn to talented people. So I was even more interested, and he ignored me even more. And then when he asked me out on a date, he had no preconceived notions of what that date would be like. And I'm thinking, this is going to be a fun summer fling, not realizing he's thinking the same thing.
Right.
He's a teacher. It'll be great when I'm 90. I can tell my grandkids that grandma was once pretty cool because she had a fling with an American dude, and you know, when she was in her 20s. And so we went on that first date when neither of us pretended. And usually on the first day, you pretend. It's your best version of yourself for that one period of time. And I'm just myself because I'm not thinking it's going anywhere. He's just himself because he thinks it's not going anywhere. And that first night, we stayed up till 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, just talking. And
Sadly, just talking.
yes, he tried to...
Hold on, wait, what did he try to do? Hold on, let's keep playing that. He tried to do something.
make his moves. But we just
What does that mean? He tried to
I
make
don't
his
know,
moves.
a hand on a leg. I have no idea what kind of moves Tommy would have had as a teacher.
He talks about his moves in the bedroom a little bit, kind of soon, I think.
God, yikes.
The lipstick. You remember that
What?
line?
No.
Oh,
What?
that's my favorite part of this interview, the lipstick.
Okay.
It's coming up, I think, soon. Okay, so they go on a date. They're themselves. I again, like, I don't know. I think the advice, or a lot of self-help people are like, oh, everyone that dates goes in for the wrong reasons, or like normally people date and they like lie. It's like not everybody. A lot of people go on dates and are themselves. I think personally, maybe
I
not.
think, yeah.
But
I think the same. I at least for my fellow ladies that I know.
hey,
I don't know about men. I have a feeling that men date differently than
True.
women, like heterosexuals, I mean. Um, because it seems like every time I've been on a date, there's been like some sort of strategy behind like the date. So, and that's not necessarily something that I would notice in the moment because I would be like drinking. So whatever.
Yeah.
But later I would notice. I'll be like, ask me all the questions that, like were meant to lead somewhere, whatever. So I have a feeling that men date differently, but I could be off because I've not dated all of the men
Yeah,
yet.
I always get that caveat,
On
like,
my
well, who
way.
knows, because I have a very small, limited view of what the dating pool's like, but like they're talking as if this is like amazing, revolutionary advice, like, oh, we were ourselves, so like obviously, like that's why we made it, or if we fell in love, it's like, okay, there's a lot of other red flags that you were ignoring along the way, and I don't know. Have higher
Yeah.
standards is what I feel for Lisa. Like,
I mean, Lisa, like, if you're a student, she was like 20, 19. What was she? Like 18?
I think she was 20. I think she was 23. No, he was 20. I forget. It was like she was 23. He was 27 or something like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think.
Because I would assume that she would do it after uni, right?
Well, I think she studied. She said she studied in London, and then she came to LA to do this like 8-week,
Yeah.
quick program. Probably expensive.
So, yeah, okay. So she would be 21, 22 probably. Somewhere
yeah,
around
she was
there.
of age. I don't think she was a teenager. I don't think. Maybe.
Yeah. But still, like, I feel like at that age, you're not exactly one of the most experienced in dating. Even if you had a relationship, it's still like,
You're starting
it
out. Yeah.
doesn't count. Although I have had colleagues in like high school mates who are still married to this day. So I don't know how that happened. But,
Who knows? Good for them.
I'm jealous, I would say. But
They probably were themselves.
they probably for like since for 15 years.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It's easier to be yourself for longer.
Yeah, exactly. For them, it only took 4 weeks, but
Whatever.
whatever.
Okay, so now we're talking about their first date. They didn't bang. They only talked, to Tom's dismay.
Yeah.
He would have preferred to bang.
He was just
Got
trying to make
along-
an impact.
Exactly. We just got along so well. And my first impression was, this guy doesn't BS. Like, he was so honest, and I'd never been on a date ever in my life up until that point where I had someone be that truthful and that honest, because he was saying things that could have ended the date there and then. And I found that
Wait.
curious, and it was so...
What did she say? He was saying things that could have ended the date there.
Yeah.
Red flag, like number 5.
Yeah.
Lisa.
Lisa, wake up.
Lisa,
Once
what
you
the
slip
fuck?
into your glass. Like, what's happened? You're not
This is not an aspirational story.
the thing is, I feel like I can sort of relate, because at one point I was in Prague, so I must have been like 23, and I had like a short fling with my boss, so I can see
Damn.
that idea. Yeah. And then I got fired by that guy. He fired me. So
Is this at the gas company?
No, but I was
Okay,
doing
okay.
it at the same time. Because I had to, that's why he fired me, because he knew that I had this other full-time job at Exxon. So he was like, dude, you can't, because I was just like
Ugh,
playing two corporations at the same time. And he was like, you
wow.
can't do this.
I'm pissed for
Uh,
you. I'm sorry.
yeah. But I can see the idea, this appeal that Lisa is talking about, where you're just finding, because it's the power balance that's different. Like, he's above
Mm,
you, he's your teacher, he was my boss. So
boss.
like immediately it's like better than all the other men in the room. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least like there's some. It's not necessarily
Appeal.
true, but there's some of that in your mind. Because whether you like it or not, all of the other guys in the team have to go to this guy for approval, or like, you know what I
Mm,
mean?
mm-hmm.
He would give probably marks to the other guys in like Lisa's class or something. So it's just it's there's something attractive about that power imbalance, I guess. But I
Mm,
think it's it's kind of sus that he would do it. Like, I think it's unethical for a
yeah.
professor, for a teacher to do it. I don't know that it's unethical for a boss to do it, maybe, but
Yeah, I think, and I looked up their ages. It's like, I think they're 2 years apart. Tom's 46 and she's 44. So like, two people meet, I don't know how serious this program was. Probably ideally you would wait till afterwards to pursue a student, just so that it's not awkward if she says no and now she has to be in the class like, this guy asked me out, now he's going to give me a grade. But she seemed interested. So, if this was a high school, that's one thing that's different.
yeah.
But, I don't know. I guess I can see it too. I can't say I have experience like wanting that. I've had bosses that are like married men that are older. So I've never been like, nice.
Yeah.
So I can't say like, yes, I feel you on that, but I can understand where you're coming from and where she's coming from. But again,
Yeah.
I think Lisa, like, wake up, sister. Like, come on.
I know.
This is not the first sign that this guy's a scumbag.
Yeah, at least I didn't marry the boss.
Exactly. Like, if you became his at-home wife for 8 years, like, okay, then you'd have a problem.
No, that was a very short fling, but I did write a poem about it. So,
Aw.
yeah, that's how I know how cringe it
sweet.
is. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's very cringe of Lisa. Because when you think back on those relationships when you're like young, it's
Yeah.
just very cringe. Like, the kind of fascination I would have with like guys that right now I would be like, this guy is like, why? I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel you.
yeah.
I feel you on the cringe looking backwards. Like, oh no. Like, if you read my journal, I'd be like, oh, Jesus Christ. This girl's headed for trouble. Yeah. But, we come out okay. We made it out. We're not,
Yeah.
we're not in
Yeah.
these situations any longer. So,
And hopefully never again.
yes, hopefully never again. Applause for us. Survive.
Thank you.
Okay. Back to Lisa talking about Tom and her one night engagement. Not really.
So refreshing. And so here was a guy who was super confident, super honest, and yet an utter gentleman. He was the first guy that ever held the door open for me.
I still can't believe that's true. That's so crazy.
And he still opens the door now for me.
Nice.
But it was one of those
so
like,
impressionable. That
Yeah.
it's like just a guy opening the door for you. You're like, oh my God, like so romantic.
Set the bar higher, girl. Set the bar higher. It's nice. I'm glad, but like, that doesn't.
There's more.
Yeah, that doesn't wipe away the shocking red flags we've already heard.
Yeah.
this is so weird. I'm thinking this guy's like really cocky and has like this super like fancy car with, the stereo system that's blasting and bass, because that's kind of, to be honest, what I was used to.
Right.
And attracted to.
And attracted to, absolutely. And so this first day, I think he's that type of guy, and we walk over to his big Buick. And the door's not really working, and
Yeah.
his back seat's full of junk.
So at this time, Tom, you were pretty broke.
Oh, yes.
He took me to a B restaurant
like,
in a strip mall.
I need someone to clean this.
Hey, babe. You know how you saw that stuff in my Buick? You want to clean that out for me so I can make protein bars?
You want to clean that out for me so I can go be great?
Hey, babe. I mean, having a Buick is one thing. Like, okay, you're like, he's like starting his career. He's young, whatever. Doesn't have to be messy though. Don't have to have shit in the back seat.
But I was gonna say, because like the way she was presenting it, I was just gonna be like, wait a minute, because Tom was like broke at the time. She keeps saying like, oh, he looked like this guy that would have like a fancy car. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like he said that he was almost hired by like an escort company to drive escorts. So
yeah, he's at the beginning of his career. No quest money yet.
He was broke at that time. He was broke as fuck. Like he had nothing. And that's why he actually went back to teaching, because he almost got hired by an escort company. And his mom was like, they're escorts, get out of there. So,
so that's where he's at in this story. And he took her to a strip mall for dinner, which I think is fine. I don't know. Like she's kind of making it seem like, oh my God, how crazy. I don't know. Unless it's like, McDonald's, maybe you want to go a little up from there perhaps. But like, yeah, strip mall food is still good food, probably, hopefully.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you, Isabel Amanda.
Thank you, Isabel Amanda.
We appreciate
I love your name.
I know, it's very beautiful. For that, I will play a new soundbite. This is via Rachel Hollis, who is
douche lord.
A douche lord. She's also... Actually, Isabel, Amanda, you are
the best, goodest, good girl you ever met in your life.
That's you.
The goodest. Wow, okay.
The goodest, bestest, goodest, good girl you've ever met in your life. Isabel Amanda, everybody.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you for contributing.
I can't get over the grammar in that. Sorry, I'm just so like... Just as the foreigner who had to learn English, bestest, goodest, I can't deal with that. Like my brain doesn't want it.
In Hollisville, it all makes sense. It all computes. Okay. We need to get to the lipstick part. We cannot go away from this until the lipstick part is talked about, which is coming soon. I promise.
I hope it's in the beginning.
It is. I've never finished this video, so I know it's in the beginning. Okay.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea, that was our first date.
If I had known that was gonna, because for years and years and years, every anniversary of our first date, we'd go relive that night. We'd go back to the restaurant, eat at the restaurant. Yeah. We'd go, because our date was actually at the
Can you pause for a sec?
Yeah.
I tried to do this with my ex because we met the first time we went out. We went to this place in the neighborhood I was living in Glasgow. And then I was like, oh, hey, it's our anniversary. Let's go back. And we went back and the place was no longer there.
Oh, that's a sign from your spirit guide.
Exactly. I should have been like, okay, it's over now.
This relationship's done. It's vacant. Yeah. It's a vacant
But I can't
lot.
believe they keep going back and the place is still there. Like, what the hell?
It must be good.
That's like, yeah.
That's a cute idea, actually. I think that's nice. That's a nice idea.
That's a nice idea, yeah, when it works and the place has not,
closed,
removed,
like your heart.
So we'd go to the DGA, and then we would actually go walk by the apartment that I was living in at the time.
Okay, that's too far. I don't need to see your apartment that you used to live in. Dinner is enough. They did it too much. Yeah. They took it too far.
It's like, do this whole thing. And I thought...
I'm assuming just like we'll see it from outside. Just
Can I look at my bedroom that I used to be in 2 years ago?
This is where I banged Lisa the first time.
This is where I met Lisa. This is where I put my...
romantic moment.
This is the door I held for Lisa 4 years ago.
We've made this like big moment out of this divey restaurant with like huge tears in like the furniture.
And it's still a B restaurant, probably.
Well, unfortunately,
I don't know what that means. That doesn't compete for me. What a B restaurant is. It must be a California thing. Bullshit restaurant, like bad restaurant. I don't know what a B restaurant is.
It's not an A restaurant.
Oh, it's not a restaurant. It's a make believe restaurant.
I have no idea what that means, but I'm just thinking there's like, the fancy expensive restaurants, and this was
not
lower. This was not the most expensive in town, therefore B
level, B tier. Okay.
Is that what he means? Like beta male, you know?
Beta. It's a beta restaurant. Only beta males take their girlfriends there.
Which is funny because he would love to consider himself an alpha male.
Yeah, he's definitely, I don't really know the difference between them, but just something calls me to say he's a sigma male. I don't know what that means, but it feels right for him. I've heard people use that term before.
Even lower in the, this is the Greek alphabet, alpha, beta, you know, like sigma is like lower.
Yeah, much
in the
lower down the
alphabet.
totem pole. Or I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Down the spectrum. Okay.
I don't know if I don't know. I can't quantify. Like it's hard because obviously we don't know the guy. Like I wonder if he would go out with one of us. Like we would, how would we feel?
I'm good.
I think for me the talking part would be like I could be just like, can we just shh for like 5 minutes and then I'll make an opinion.
Yeah. No more talking. No more talking about your diet, your dietary regimen. I don't give a shit. That's what I would say.
Yeah. He'd be like, Lisa, I want to live forever. So you'll be my wife and my cleaner forever.
Did you know I'm immortal? Did you know that? Yeah, I'm solving world hunger through Quest Nutrition. My parents are really fat, so that's why I'm behind. That's why I'm doing this for them to save their life. Here's a door. Walk through it. Okay, it's coming up. I swear to God, I swear.
It went out of business, so it ended up getting taken over. I don't know what the rating is now, but
You heard that? It went out of business. So they are doomed.
Wait, the restaurant. Oh, yeah. Yay. Okay, good.
Okay, our predictions are on track. Like they're headed for this 30-day sex challenge. Any day now.
They will get the therapist that Chris and Heidi Powell had.
Yeah. And then, like I said, promptly 6 months after that begins, they will be filing their divorce papers.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's continue.
So, I mean, it's just hysterical.
How did you ask her out that first night? You just went up to her that first time when it all
The
clicked?
first overture I made to her was sit your ass down. Where do you
Overture.
think you're going?
Okay.
I was wondering if
Wait. You just
The
missed a
first
very
overture.
and very important part, Camellia. Hold on. Did you hear what he said? How he asked her out on this date?
No, I stopped listening at overture.
Okay, this overture is fucking insane. Okay, listen.
Hysterical.
How did you ask her out that first night? You just went up to her that first time when it all
The
clicked?
first overture I made to her was sit your ass down. Where do you think you're going?
I was wondering if he'd, yeah.
No way, really?
Yeah.
To his students, sit your ass down. Where do you think you're going? That puts the aggressive in aggressively myself. Do you think he's like
Exactly.
fucking, what's his name? The guy from 50 Shades of Grey or something?
The thing with this teacher thing, I'm not sure where exactly he was teaching because
School of Hard
it
Knocks.
sounds like they had some teaching practices that are very out of the ordinary.
Yeah. Sit your ass down after ignoring her for a year. I don't know.
Yeah.
That I could totally see that being hot, like in a sexual scenario where you guys are both feeling it and like there's some sort of like I can get behind that, but like your teacher wants to take you on a date and that's how he does it. No, thank you.
Yeah, it kind of seems like you'd be like, what's this about?
Like,
I have no
excuse me,
idea.
are you gonna fail me if I don't? Because that's a fucking lawsuit. Christian Grey. Yeah, that's the name. Christian Grey.
I
50
did not
Shades
hear
of
that
Tom.
the first time, but that is, yeah. But it's very awkward too. Like,
It's insane.
because if you're in that situation, it's not like, like you said, nobody's like feeling it or anything. So it's very awkward to say words like that.
Yeah, it's definitely crossing a line, and she's one to have taken it well, but 100,000 other women would have taken that as harassment because I think it is. If you are not like 100% sure that this person is interested, you don't do it in that setting, in that way, with the power dynamic and all that. Like, as much as it's funny and silly, it's also like, this is not someone who I would take advice from in any sort of relational way, like how to deal with people. This guy does not obviously know.
I've obviously, since she was into him for like a month and a half at that point. Is that what she said? A month and a half, yeah.
Ignored by him, yeah.
So if she was into him and, you know, that happened, I guess, like maybe he picked up on her cues or something. I don't know. But it's a very
Maybe,
awkward
still.
thing to say, like out
Still.
of nowhere.
You
I
better
can't
be
even.
1,000,000% sure she's consenting to that before you say something like that.
Yeah.
Eek. Yikes.
Yeah, it's
Cringe.
pretty. It's very cringe. That's it's secondhand embarrassment I'm getting. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down to soundbite that. Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. Where do you think you're going? Okay, that's 9 minutes into the video.
yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's see what else they have is in store for this player.
You were just that forward with her.
And keep in mind, it was fun and funny and appropriate. It was like we had a rapport, certainly a student teacher, and so she was like, most of her class was done. We were on set shooting. Most of her class was done, so a bunch of them were going to leave, but some of them weren't. And so she was like, oh, all right, we're all taking off. And I was like, sit your ass down. Where do you think you're going? And so she just sat down, and I was like, oh,
And I normally play hard to get, but after a month and a half, I was so shocked that he said, I just went, okay, and sat down. I was like, Lisa, you don't just say okay. You've got to play hard to get.
She
But
was almost like a militant feminist at the time. Like, I was so shocked. I was like, whoa, I can't believe like how well this stuff works. So it was,
Jesus Christ.
She's like, okay, next student, I'm doing it again.
While we're on the topic of abuse, join our email list for exclusive getaways.
Our course for how to have a successful relationship. It's only $997. Did you notice? I just noticed right now. Did you notice that Lisa's hair was not pink in this video?
No, it is to one side though, which seems to be her signature look.
It is? I don't see it.
She's also in a mesh top, so well, there's a lot going on with her looks. Hold on.
I mean,
it
her
was
like
really,
her
really
fashion is on point today, but I feel like I just noticed the hair looks different.
Yeah, she's got like regular hair. I would, of course, like the one shot where she's not in it. I can't go back. Yeah, this is pretty bad. This is a pretty bad take. And talking about it so, I mean, I guess they got married, so, it's all fine. But I don't tend to think that way. Like, if you get married, like any abuse that happened in the past or any sketchiness just like is absolved. Same thing with like Dave Hollis. Like, just because Rachel married him, now, okay, then later on she decided to like get upset. Like, yeah, that makes sense because those things have not been resolved, most likely.
Yeah.
Just because you got married doesn't solve it. Was
funny, but like these are like the stories of our grandmothers. Like, I was 14, but he was 25.
It was amazing.
And he just wouldn't leave me alone. So eventually I caved. And
he came to my elementary school every day and waited for me as I was walking home to skip rocks. And when I turned 14, then he asked my hand in marriage, and it was true love.
I was already pregnant, but okay.
My dad forced him to marry me through a shotgun threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally like that. Like all the stories from grandparents, I feel like they're like, oh, I was barely like in kindergarten, and he just kept on asking. And eventually I gave up, and I was like, okay, I guess.
He's like, I'm shocked at how well this stuff works. So like, what? Being an asshole and like being not emotionally abusive might be too far, but like definitely crossing boundaries and crossing comfort zones. Yeah, like if this is their story, like, and this is their life, like, okay, whatever. But like, this is also on a podcast show to give advice, I would assume, to like other, like they are the example to hold up to of like what to be like in life. This is stupid. This is horrible.
It's pretty bad. And his takeaway was like, wow, this stuff works really well. I'll use it again.
I'll use it on some other girls in the future. And
I'll
like,
have more female students, don't worry.
yeah. And as much as I agree with Emily, like as much as like this is a red flag on Tom, it's also a red flag on Lisa of what she's attracted to and what she's willing to put up with. Like they say like I'm not saying Tom's an abuser necessarily, but an abuser, just like a hypothetical person, will push the boundaries slowly. You know, like, oh, like they tell you to sit the fuck down, first to see how you react. Then next time they'll say something meaner, or the next time they'll push you a little bit. And the next time, then by the end, you're getting punched in the face. Like this is sort of like, to me, sounds like something like that. Like he's pushing the boundaries to see how much she's willing to take. And it sort of disturbs me.
Yeah. Lisa has taken a lot of shit over the years, I would say.
Yeah, money's great, but is money everything? No. To deal with Tom, hell no. I'll take my poverty, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, we're almost there, I think.
Interesting to have like at a moment of great change for both of us, where I was trying to, step into my confidence and really own who I am and own my personality, and she was already like really owned herself and was very confident. And so for us to meet at that level where she was really opening herself up to being an artist, and like, I don't know, it's just a really cool like moment of change for us both. And so I think it's why we both had such open minds to, when we met, it was like this cool collision of ideas. I'd never met a woman like her. I'd never met somebody that was so self-assured and confident, like aggressively so. And so, yeah, it was just really, really interesting.
Nice. And then how old were you guys at the time?
Young as hell. And I do not advise that people get together as young as we did, but
21.
Man, it worked out. She was 21 and I was not 25.
Is it the hair?
That's all I know is I was not 25. So there's this whole thing. She was like going to tell her dad, like I'm like really freaking out to tell my dad that I'm dating this guy that's 25. And I was like, whoa. I never told you I was 25. And she was like, what do you mean?
So now I'm thinking, oh my God, he's 30. My dad's going to kill me that I'm dating such an older man.
Right.
I was 24.
Gotcha.
So that's the joke. He was like, I was not 25. I was like, what do you mean? Oh God, he's like, I'm 24. I was like, you bastard.
Yeah.
So I don't
Very
this way.
young.
And then, so you were actually her teacher, not just in the school, you were actually the teacher.
Omar.
Wow. Okay.
Just to clarify for the 15th time, you were her teacher, correct?
So you don't hear this, Tom? Like you're her teacher. You're still not hearing it? Oh,
Just to circle back to the teacher question that I asked before. Can you repeat that again?
Wait, I'm confused. So you were the teacher?
What kind of program is this? 24-year-olds
Lisa,
teaching a
he
class.
was your teacher? Tom, you were her teacher? Did you guys hear this, everybody?
Oh, that's so funny. I love it so much. Just want to double make check, triple check. You're the teacher still in this story.
I'm still shocked about this.
He's the best interviewer ever. Okay, so the part about the lipstick is when he asks her to marry him, and so I know it's coming up. It's coming up. I swear to God.
Okay, and then how do you guys go from that first date to like, okay, this is a relationship where, a long-term thing? I mean,
Well,
how does that transition
let's
happen?
get really weird. So and you can shut this down or edit it however you want.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I really wanted to sleep with her that first night, and she was like having none of it.
Appreciate the honesty.
And
But, but when we were at dinner, having, prior to this, he's like, I'm not the guy that just wants to get laid on the first night. So then when he makes a move, I'm like, you're full of shit. Which I pretty much told him.
What happened to being themselves and aggressively honest and stuff?
Not that honest. Well, I guess she was honest, like, I'm not interested. Well, yeah, I guess he was lying. I don't know.
I thought he was being aggressively himself.
He's like, I'm not the type of guy that wants to have sex on the first night. 20 minutes later. Babe?
So we stayed up until 5 a.m. talking because I couldn't do anything
kept
else.
Waking me up to try to have sex with me for 40 hours straight. To protect myself, I stayed awake and talked to him so that I felt safe.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, he is
wait,
full of shit.
They're having a moment here. Like they're like, wait, what?
Yeah,
What are you talking about here?
she's like, yeah, you're full of shit. He's like, I know.
Aggressively myself.
I'm a man. It's forgiven.
But the thing was really like at the beginning of the night, I didn't know her that well. There wasn't that connection. I wasn't on my mind. I'd never played the, romance like that. But look, it obviously worked out where we get married. So when I say it was the most electric moment of my life, like I had never met somebody like her. And going from seeing her as a student to seeing who she was really like as a woman was like so cool. Mm-hmm. And so I'm literally like jaw on the floor the whole dinner. I'm like, man, this chick is so intriguing. And she was just more interesting than anyone I'd ever met. And so as the night goes on, I was like, whoa, like I'm really into this chick. And now I have that connection. I'm definitely going for the close. And she shot it down and was like not having it. But not in like then it created an awkward moment. It wasn't awkward at all. We had such a phenomenal conversation that we just slipped back into that. And it was wonderful. And so, but looking back, there is something to like that there was the real want to see her again, partly because there was nothing cemented. There was still that hanging sexual question in the air. And so we went back out on... literally from that first date, I've never looked back, never looked sideways, nothing. It was just always her. Not that I was loving. First sight, I was not in love with her at that moment. I was just way, way, way intrigued. Mm-hmm. And so when I was dropping her off, she loves this story. When I was dropping her off, I was done playing cool. I was like, dude, you're so interesting.
I thought he wasn't playing cool from the get-go.
I thought he was aggressively himself.
Now he's saying after the first date when he's dropping her off, then he decided to drop the facade.
We were not playing any games, except for this one game on the first date.
No games in this relationship except for the beginning and except for the first 6 years when I was strategically doing everything.
Yeah. He's very defensive, I don't know why. You see his body language there, just like.
What do you want me to do? I'm sick of playing cool.
No, don't make him. No, I was suddenly gonna be honest.
I never thought that I could like a girl. I'm a player for real.
Definitely sounds like he's never had a girlfriend before, Lisa.
Yeah, let's get real here. This is the first girl that said yes to him.
It was the most
ever.
electric moment of my life. I'm like, okay, you never had sex, did you?
She could talk. She could she could walk. It's amazing. This is a full-grown human being in front of me. I just was shocked that they were on a date with me. It's amazing. Electrifying.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna play it. Hold on. See if I can.
Let's keep this going. So I was like, when am I going to see you again?
Yeah.
She's like, maybe 3 or 4 days. And I was like,
I'll call you.
Yeah, I'll let you know, yeah.
Well, because he'd played cool for so long, I thought, well, Lisa, you can't show that you're too...
Hold on. While they talk about... So what did he... sorry, the door was open in the house. So he said that he wasn't going to call her for 3 days? Or
no,
she
he asked her to... He asked her, when can I see you again? And she was like, in 3 or 4 days, He couldn't wait that long.
Oh, okay. So she thought she was playing it cool, which I think is kind of normal. Give me some space, bro.
3-4 days is not a lot. And also for British people, it's normal to plan things in advance, a few days.
I gotta do my homework for the class that you're the teacher of, Omar. Omar, ask it again. You could also DM him. I'm 100% interested if you'd like to work one-on-one with Omar.
Oh my God, should we message Omar?
DM him how? On YouTube?
Tell me all about Tony.
Tell me about Tony. DM him how? I don't know. Figure it out. Okay. Just DM the passionate few in your third eye. Okay, sorry.
Keen,
Right.
even though our first date was kind of based on the truth, which is weird that we still then played the game afterwards. Actually, just
look, there is a game to be played in no uncertain term for everybody.
Is there?
And the understanding how do you influence people? How do you have an impact on people? It isn't just being aggressively yourself. It's being aggressively yourself in a context.
Right.
I'm not the same way in a board meeting that I'm going to be on a first date, right? And nor would anyone expect me to. And it'd be fucking weird if I did it, right?
No, it wouldn't. I don't think that's weird. I think that's fucking normal. bro. That's my Kia's world school of thought. Yeah, you should be yourself always, like within reason. But I'm not going to act like I'm a totally different person in a boardroom versus in a date. You give people respect the same way, personally.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Tom
He knows
can't
best.
always just show who he is, because imagine imagine being Tom
Yeah.
and having to
I
go on a
can't.
date and be like, we're gonna live forever, and like you obviously are.
Have you heard of intermittent fasting before? It really works. It's great. It saves me every day.
Like,
Okay,
you know,
Tom.
some people should be themselves, others need to have some self-awareness and you know, yeah,
I guess.
because otherwise, like, nobody would go out with him again.
I think
He's a
he
weird,
found one.
he knows.
He found someone that was interested, and he never let go. And he picked one that, you know, I think has some self-confidence issues.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
he, you know, had the great fortune of having her away from her family and support system from England.
Yeah. Yeah. Be aggressively yourself, but still play the game as a
There's
player.
a game for everyone, you know.
No, I don't subscribe to that. Maybe I did when I was like 15.
Yeah, I'd say the thing is, I feel like men do that a lot. Like they do like pretend, like they will. I have seen guys talk about this on TikTok a lot, where they would be like on a date and be like, "Oh yeah, I told her all about my horoscope," because obviously that will, like, you know, that's what she
Excite
wants
her.
to hear. It's like, but I don't believe in it. It's like, okay, dude, like, just chill. Okay.
It's not going to go well. Yeah. Long
But they
term, at
do
least.
that a lot. So, and I think that's why it's important not to tell, because like most guys, and I've noticed this even with my sister, they would ask like, "Oh, what do you want from a guy?" And like, just never answer that question. They would immediately become that guy. Like, they would just go to the toilet, wash their face, and come back as that guy. Like, that's it.
I want a guy who's really aggressively himself. Don't wait one more second, baby. I'm coming. Sit your ass down, bitch. Like, that's Tom, apparently.
Yeah, and Lisa was like, "Oh, so hot."
That's hot. He's an older man, 2 years older.
Yeah.
Okay, we're wrapping up here on this part, at least.
Right?
Right, yeah.
So I was myself in the context of a first date. And so, you know, you have to
So
put it that
not
way.
myself.
Yeah,
But
so
realizing, at least for me, that
okay,
the rules of the game had changed very rapidly, in that I no longer felt like I was
rapidly.
on going for a second date. It felt like I've connected with you in a way I've literally never connected with another human being in my life. To give you an
Literally.
idea, so we met when I was 24. I had never told anyone ever, other than like my immediate family, that I loved them, ever. So she is
It's
my
not
first
shocking,
and
Tom, to
only
us
serious
at all.
relationship.
Wow.
So it's like, I was always like, I'm never getting married. Like, it's not my thing. I don't need to be with people. I don't have like that pull that some people have where they have to be in a relationship.
The Quasimodo effect, like, you know, you just tell yourself that's what's fine.
It's like, I don't need to be married since all these women have rejected me. I don't need a wife anyway. It's fine.
It's not for me. I don't need to be with people. It's okay.
Yeah, I can just be alone for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
No problem.
This is totally fine. I am not complaining. And then Lisa
Yeah.
got in the trap
God.
and didn't know.
Thank God this girl appeared and she tolerated me, because, my God, I would have been single forever. But yeah, I told her I loved her right that night.
Yeah. I said, I cannot wait another
Imagine
day
just
without
how
you.
cringe.
Ugh.
Oh,
The cringiest part has not arrived yet.
Relationship. I have
The poem. It's about a poem with lipstick.
never had that. I
Let's
don't have
hear
an
it.
addictive personality. I'm very fine by myself.
addictive
So
person.
for me, it was like,
Oh my
whoa,
God.
like everything just changed. And
I'm
the
addicted to you,
easiest way
baby.
to encapsulate that is 8 months later, not then, because I want to be very clear about this was not love at first sight, but 8 months later, I realized, oh, I'm either never getting married, which is a very real possibility, or I'm marrying her. But it isn't like,
Because
oh, well,
nobody
I've
else would have me.
Yeah, because I basically tried and realized how difficult it was going to be to start
Like,
over.
this girl rejects me, I'll be alone forever. I better do everything in my power.
Yeah. Or I'm just going to give up because no one else is going to put up with this shit.
Yeah.
But Lisa.
I've always known I wanted to get married, so it was either I'm never getting married or I'm marrying her, simple as.
Wow.
And he told me a lot of that on our first date. Like, no, I don't really care about marriage. Kids, maybe. He's not religious. So literally, all these things he's telling me are completely the opposite of what I thought I was looking for in a guy. So I wanted to get married. I absolutely wanted a family. I am brought up in a Greek Orthodox family. So, you know, he has to be christened for us to get married. Culture, like all these things that I thought I was looking for, he wasn't it. But that first date, we connected on such a different level that it didn't really matter. But also when he told me, I thought, oh, it's going to be a fling anyway. So you don't have to like care that he doesn't care about marriage because he's not going to be in my future. But then after that first date, it was like some weird electric. So even though I was trying to play cool and hard to get after that, it was like, soon. I think it was like the next day we ended up seeing each other and we pretty much saw each other every single day after that.
Wow. So let me ask you this, Lisa, for the audience listening, what are
Was
some
he
things
your
that are
teacher?
important to...
Let me ask you this, Lisa. Was Tom your teacher at this time? Just quick question before we continue. Was he your teacher, though?
I would say that is one thing that really, I'm jokes aside, that's one thing that's like making me sad about Lisa, because I feel like he has spoken about the fact that he never wanted a family and stuff like that, but she did. And
Yeah.
she never got a family. She only got a
She
dog, and then she
compromised.
talked about that and being like, oh yeah, I realize I don't want it either. Like, you do. He
But
doesn't.
he doesn't compromise on anything, from what I can tell. She compromised everything to be with him. He's compromised nothing.
Well, I guess he compromised the fact that he didn't want to get married and stuff. So he eventually married her. But I feel like she has spoken many times about wanting kids. Like, I've heard her talk about this, and it was always like, oh, but it's okay, I don't want them anymore. Like, it's kind of sounds like he put that idea into her mind. Like, you don't need kids, baby. You're good. Like,
Yeah,
you-
I'm your kid.
don't worry about it.
Tommy,
You've
little
got
Tommy
me.
is your baby.
He's like, I can't compete with a child here. Like,
Well, he needs his clothes put out for him for the gym. How can
Yeah.
she take care of a baby and do that? Like, no way.
yeah.
He can't be
Plus the
immortal if he has a
attention.
baby.
Imagine if imagine if the kid got more attention than him. Like, ew, disgusting.
Yeah, not cool. Yeah, it sort of breaks my heart for her, like, in a way, because it seems like it seems so clear, like, in hindsight, and especially when you're not the person saying it, like, hearing her say those things, even in this interview, I'm like, oh, I think I hear her saying it as if she still wants those things, but she's given them up for love. And it's like, you could have done it with someone else. Like, this guy is just a guy in the end. Like, it's a person. Sometimes I think it matters, like, the things you want. If you have your convictions about what you want out of life, the person may not work out, and that's okay. I don't know. I used to think more about like soulmates and that sort of thing. But now I think it really is like, what life do you want, and find the person that wants the same things.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, with time, obviously, you also change. So you're never like bound to one thing. So even if,
Sure.
let's say, she at that time she was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm young enough, I don't want kids right now, so I can just kind of see this relationship through, whatever. It's okay to change your mind later and to be like, okay, I still want them. This guy says, and he's like, sure, he's never wanting kids, whatever, so I guess I could go find someone else. But I think at that point, when they were probably a few years in, first of all, they probably were married, and also he was starting to make money. So at that point, I think it became ooh, well, I guess I'm not having kids, but I'm having like billions. So
Yeah. Well, her dad has money too, and it was required almost of the family, like who she married had money as well. So her dating pool gets a little smaller too with that as a requirement. And, he was going to be the CEO or whatever. Like, it is sort of like, it's not sort of, it is a huge accomplishment that he's, accomplished this financial goal. So I think she probably feels pressure from her family to stay with this guy who can financially support her. But at the same time, it's like, that's so old school. I know she's like from Greek Orthodox family.
But at the same
But
time, she is like in LA at this point. Like, how many like ultra rich, like,
true.
entrepreneurs and like movie stars and whatever, like this is
He's
not
not the only
your
guy.
average town, like
Yeah.
this is a city where like all the rich directors, producers, whatever. Like there's so much industry in LA that like had she wanted another man, she could have definitely found another guy who is rich. Like look at Amber Heard. She went out with sorry, she was married to Johnny Depp and then she
Yeah.
went out with Elon Musk. So like, there's always like
There's options for
richer and
Lisa.
better if that's what Lisa wanted to do. But
True.
I guess she was just content.
I guess. I think she felt like maybe she's the type that does what they're told, like follows a man who tells them something like authority. And he told her to sit her ass down. And from that point on, like she did everything he told her to do. And he said, we're not having kids. She said, okay, we're not having kids. You're going to take care of me at home. I'm going to take care of you at home. Maybe that's some sort of trauma response for her, or like not even trauma response, but like just her personality. Like
Yeah,
men
could
tell
be.
you what to do and you do it. Who knows? Anyways, okay.
Could be just that she's happy not to, pursue anything and just kind of go with the flow, whatever.
And the whole thing too, like just talking about Tom and her, their whole thing, and this is also true with Jay Shetty. I think they all have a lot of like similarities where it's like they talk so much about like pick your purpose, pick a goal and stick to it. Tom and Lisa's goal was to make movies, like to start this company, to do the company, make money so that they could self-fund their film projects. What films have they made? They have this YouTube show that feeds their ego, feeds his ego more, really. He gets to meet these like famous self-help gurus. But like they used to be into scripted like Hollywood movies. They haven't done anything.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I was also convinced I went to do the scripted, and then I ended up doing documentaries, and I actually like that a lot more. And looking back, I'm like, scripted was crap in comparison.
Yeah.
Well, also I wasn't in a city where you could find any like opportunities for scripted. He was, or they were. So that's the difference there. But also, so I guess what I'm trying to say is like you can change your mind, and I'm assuming that's what happened there. But he's trying to make like films now. I saw I think we saw it together actually, the timeline of what they wanted to do over the next couple of years on the website. And
Yeah.
they had some films in the works, and like it's animations, I think.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah, they have
I guess he's
comics and
trying.
stuff. Yeah,
But
NFTs and all that shit. Yeah.
if that depends on the NFT money, like I don't know if
Yeah,
that's going.
he's fucked. I just feel like, he kind of sold her, Lisa, Tom sold Lisa like, hey, if you support me, I'll make all this money at this company. Then we can go and pursue your dreams. I mean, like you said, she was in LA to learn how to be a filmmaker. She's like going along with this plan. Like, oh, the whole point of this is to have money to be able to make the films I want to make. And now she's, 20 years in. I feel like she got duped. Like he just changed his mind and was like, oh, now I'm going to do this thing that I like better. And you can be a part of it if you want. And she's like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I'll do that now,
Mm-hmm.
As
I know
opposed
what you mean,
yeah, like they were supposed to like, she was going to write a screenplay. And like, I just don't see any of that coming to fruition. And it seems like that's what he like baited her with.
I feel like none of them are talented in that. Like I would say like none of them pursued that properly. Like even I went to I for 6 years made films in Scotland. Like I gave it a serious shot, and I feel like they never they were in the right environment and they had money with Quest and stuff. Like had they wanted to make proper movies, and they did like make that shitty whatever
Horror flick.
but I don't think they properly pursued it. Like, and Lisa definitely just she was like, no, I don't even want a job. Like,
yeah, which is weird too, because it's like, why?
Yeah.
But again, she was so obsessed with like pleasing Tom. Maybe he didn't allow it. Maybe he said, no, like your priority is me. And if you can't do both, you only get to do me. And she was like, okay. I don't know how much of it has been on her own choice or his prompting. Hearing this again,
that's
I'm
the
like,
thing. I guess we'll never know that part, but I feel like at the end of the day, she didn't have agency of her own. So if she was like
Yeah,
at
she
any
does.
point
You're
like
right.
so unhappy with it, she could have always just pulled the plug. But I think they were in over their head at that point. So I
Yeah.
think, and she was helping with Quest. So I guess that was also, kind of a job. And she was CEO of Home Enterprises or something. I
Or
can't remember exactly.
Bilyeu.
Bilyeu Enterprise, which meant like she paid the bills and like with his money. But
She chose chicken fingers or chicken nuggets tonight.
and she made the food and cleaned the house, and that was the CEO of Home Enterprises. But basically, she did help with Quest, I guess. That's
After 8
something.
years. Yeah, she waited 8 years, and then he brought her on. I don't know. I'm not
yeah.
sure. Obviously we only know what we're seeing from the outside, but
Yeah, no, she's definitely like obviously very passive about his like her
yes.
own stuff. Like she's not pursuing anything that she wants to do. She just like happy to go with the flow. I know there's people like that, and I've never quite related.
But she's
There's
selling
people
the
who are just like
opposite.
more chill about life. They're just kind of going with, well, obviously because she's like in this surrounded by all these entrepreneurs who are like purpose driven and all that bullshit. So she's just kind of trying to fit in, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, because I feel like, she might just be that kind of passive person, but she has to like sell a book called Radical Confidence. It's like, it's not really
I'm
computing
radically
for me.
confident to do like everything for Tom.
Radically complicit. More
Yeah.
like. Okay, here's back to Omar's grilling questions. Let's see.
Know when getting into a relationship, because a large portion of our audience is entrepreneurs, whether it be men or women, whether they're in relationships or on their way to one. What are some things that you guys have found that have worked? And Tom, you can chime in. Just want to hear Lisa's thoughts first on what are some things that you feel like are important to have compatibility on, or things to look for entrepreneurs that want to get in a healthy relationship, because entrepreneurship's not easy. So what are things that worked for you guys that you think brought that connection that you could impart to others?
Yeah, I think
Lisa's
a big
like,
thing is, what are you
don't
looking
ask
for?
me.
I don't know.
What's an entrepreneur?
Where are we?
What do you mean?
Tom, you want to take this one?
Hey, honey, can you help me out with the question?
Yeah.
Sorry, this is so.
I know.
I'm sorry, Lisa, if you're watching this. I
We
miss
like
the
you,
red
Lisa.
hair. Sorry,
I
the
know.
pink hair.
I
It's
know.
very boring without it. Like it's just.
Yeah, she's not
what was
very
the con-
lit either. He's more lit in the studio. Better.
She's
in
in
the dark
Tom's
shadow.
shadow. She's in Tom's shadow, figuratively
Ugh.
and and literally.
Literally and figuratively in her shadow. Oh my God.
For in a partner?
It's true.
Because if you want, from a female perspective, if you want your husband to come home at 6 p.m. every night and eat dinner with you and be there if you want to have kids, and they're going to be there on the weekends and go on school trips and be a part of that, then I would find it hard to then be with someone who is so ambitious as an entrepreneur, because it's the opposite of what they're going to do. He's not coming home until work is done or until he's decided, I actually need to get some sleep. So there'll be weeks on end where we don't necessarily see each other. We'll try to carve out time, but accepting that that's part of who he is, and that's what I'm actually drawn to. So if I'm drawn to
like,
someone
I
that's
have a
super
lover.
ambitious, and
It's okay because I got a lover.
Yeah.
Tom's not there for 3 weeks. This other guy is like unemployed.
It's good. We're good. I have my bases
It's
covered.
funded by Tom Bilyeu Enterprises.
Yeah. He's my
Keeps me
assistant.
happy and satisfied.
Honestly, you probably would need that. Like,
I mean,
after a
duh,
while.
like, can you,
Yeah.
what, you just sit home alone, like with your dog, like
Waiting for Tom to come
for
home.
weeks?
Ugh.
Yeah, I bet she had like multiple.
And also, like, speak for yourself. Like, every entrepreneur that's walked the earth does not work as many hours as you're saying. It's like, that's not the average. That's like, you're working harder, not smarter. Like, I don't know a lot of people who are entrepreneurs. Maybe,
Tom also had like a lover.
yeah.
He's like,
Another
work,
student.
baby, gotta work,
Yeah. Something sketchy about that. Like, how many fucking protein bars can you make in a day? Like, come home for dinner. Like, what's your problem?
you you can have protein bars tomorrow.
Yeah. Maybe.
Right now we made puree.
Yeah, like this is not an average situation. Again, like they're like, oh, entrepreneurs like this. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I work like a normal amount of hours a week.
And I would say that probably the whole idea of like having your own company and like having multiple streams of income, whatever, all that stuff is to free your time, like to
Yeah.
have more time in your life. It's what's the point in like having money if you just never have any time to like go to a football game or something and
Yeah,
enjoy
what's the
it?
point?
Like there's literally what's the point? Because I don't understand it. Like
To become immortal somehow.
just to sit there in front of a computer replying to emails like for 120 hours a week, like that sounds like a nightmare. That sounds
Yeah.
like hell. It
I
sounds
mean-
like you made a very big mistake. You ended up in hell and they just made you reply to emails for 120 hours.
I think part of Tom's work is like also like watching self-help. He's like, I'm personally developing. I gotta watch this video of Will Smith's, grad speech from '99. Like, oh, I'm gonna get inspired. Like, I think that's his idea of work as well. So it's a little bit more widespread of like, I'm gonna develop myself. I'm gonna call Tony and get some advice.
But I guess at Quest, I'm assuming that after the initial like 1-2 years, whatever, before they managed to hit it big, he stopped making protein bars himself, right? Like I'm assuming he had employees and that's
Yes.
it. Like, right. So what you would do as a CEO of a company like this is find deals, right? Like you'll find like I'm assuming other shops where they want to sell your protein bar. You want to like negotiate with whatever Target. I don't know where he sells it, but that's
Making
the job,
music
right? Like,
videos. That's what he did. That apparently has been wiped from the internet. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did marketing, like, getting people. And his big thing was like using influencers to promote it. Like, how Red Bull, I guess, does it. Like, they just give them out for free and, people at events that are cool and like people kind of took it from there. I guess his idea was using influencers kind of in the early days of influencer marketing that are
and I would say
people.
I would say that's a smart idea. And
Yeah,
I still
smart.
think it is.
Very
I
smart.
know loads of like makeup companies that made it big that way because they went to YouTube to YouTubers like us, not like us bigger, but
I'm a makeup
But-
YouTuber in my free time. I'm just
oh
kidding.
yeah, totally. Me too. I did make a Patreon once, putting makeup on. Therefore, all sponsorships, send them to my email address. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Fenty Beauty. I'm available.
I do have like 11 people watching my Patreon videos.
It's it's called micro marketing.
Yeah, but the engagement is on par. So
It's 10 out of 10. 10 out of 11, actually.
yeah.
That's funny.
Sorry, but I mean, seriously, like, just what do you? Because like, even as you want to work so hard, like, how many deals can you strike on a Saturday night? Like,
Yeah.
that guy that you're trying to strike a deal with probably is like at his son's football game. Like,
Yeah, it's yeah, I agree. I think it's like it makes people think like, wow, this guy's so like dedicated, but in reality, it's like not even worth it. It's not worthwhile what you're doing. So it's really only hurting you and your wife.
yeah.
Why are you doing that? No one needs you to do
Yeah.
that much. And like,
I
you're
would
not even
say-
on the website. Like, in the end of the wash, like he puts all these hours in 2022 on the website, it says Ray and Sean or whatever are the founders.
Yeah,
So what was the fucking
Ron.
point?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
legacy is erased immediately.
I mean, I guess he got a big house now, so
Yeah. You know
he no longer
what?
has a Buick.
I know his house is giant.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it. I've been like, it's coming. It's like the thing's coming. And I just thought about it. He said that he interviewed them already before. So maybe it was in the other video.
Oh, I'm sure he would touch on it. But we would probably we do need to do a part 2 at some point anyway.
True.
'cause The
Yeah.
story is no longer, it's not even
Oh, there's
close
more.
to.
Yeah, this
over.
is just about the
Yeah.
relationship. We're kind of sticking to them as a couple. Do you want to keep watching or do you want to go to something else, or what are your thoughts?
I mean, let's keep watching for another like couple minutes
Okay.
and see if we get to the lipstick part. And if we don't, I guess we'll have to wrap it at 2 hours, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's probably good. It's at 137 right now, so
Yeah.
we'll see how much juice we can squeeze out of this interview with Omar, our favorite.
Yeah.
Yet I expect them to come home at 6 p.m. That's not fair on him. Because like, I got into it knowing who he is. So I think it's really what is important.
Okay, wait, hold on. Sorry. That is the most like abused woman thing to say. And I've heard it from other people where it's like the man fucks up or is a cheater or whatever. And they go, well, you knew that was how I was when you got with me. So it's on you. Actually, it's your fault for being with me. And like, you know, this is actually a reflection of you because you knew I was a scoundrel when you met me. And like the fact that she's like,
You let me do it to you.
yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. Like, well, he told me that he's, you know, gonna never see me and hates me. So like, I knew that already.
Like, it's okay. I got a plan. I had a few lovers on the line. I managed. I made do in Tom's absence.
Yeah, it's just like, ooh, that's kind of a red flag on her part. Like, it sounds like they had a fight and she like cowered to his thing. Like, no, this is, she's like, can you come home? And he's like, no, you knew this is how I was. She's like, oh, you're right.
To you, and then figuring it out from there. But if you're not respectful for the other person and what they want, I think you could just like, you know, butt heads and collide on your desires for what you want as a family.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I think what you're saying is that it's important to
Oh my God.
accept them for who they are.
Did you hear
and
that?
acknowledge.
Oh,
What you're
never gonna
saying
finish
is-
this. So yeah, let me mansplain this to you, Lisa.
That's what you mean to
'cause you are-
say is,
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Omar,
Sorry.
Omar.
Omar. I had faith in him, and here's
Yeah.
him like mansplaining. Okay.
Let me explain what you just said.
The fact that sometimes you might
Better.
have conflicting wants, right? You might want somebody ambitious, but you want them home at 6.
Right.
And so being open enough to realize the difference between what's
can be
important
both.
versus what's maybe being too needy or not being as understanding.
I just don't know how those two can coexist. So there's definitely times where if I really need to spend time with him, I will say it and he will clear his schedule and we'll do it. But that's very few and far between. Because on a day-to-day, for him to really achieve what he needs to achieve, and for me and for the company, then there's going to be a certain amount of sacrifices. So as a
company, like-
couple, we
like the
sat down
company
and
is
go,
a
What are
kid.
those sacrifices we're
Yeah.
willing to make? What is the goal? What are the
our baby
sacrifices? And then
quest.
let's lay it out. And basically, do we both buy into it?
Mm-hmm.
So if we both buy into it, when he's gone for weeks on end, when he's got business, when I'm busy, we just remind ourselves that we chose this life.
We just remind you,
And
Lisa.
was communication something?
Yeah, what does Tom had to do?
Tom was like, I just remind Lisa that she should shut the fuck up and
And she
you know,
does.
fuck the the cleaner boy.
The pool cleaner. Yeah. The pool boy. Lisa and the pool boy. Their new movie coming out spring 2024.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this thing and I'm gonna go get some water.
Okay. We'll keep watching. I'll update
But
you.
I can still hear you. I can still hear you.
Something that always flowed naturally, or did you guys have to work on it? You know, is it an ongoing thing where you guys are constantly working on it? I just really want to give people listening some insight as to how healthy communication develops, or should it just from the start, that relationship of communication be there? What's your guys' experience been like?
Yeah, so from the jump, I would say you've got to be clearly communicating. You've got to be communicating honestly. You have to tell people what you're really about, what are you really into. You know, it's the difference between listening to your audience and pandering to your audience, right? So you want to listen to the person that you're with and see like how you are. Are they giving you feedback that would make you rethink some of your beliefs? Be open to that for sure. But at the same time, don't be like, oh, I bet this is what they want to hear, and then tell them that. And then you're painting yourself as something that you're really not because you think that's what they'll be attracted to. Because if it works, and oftentimes it does, you end up in a relationship that's not really you. And now you've got all this momentum to act a certain way, to be a certain way.
Right.
And it's like this total trap. And so what she was saying earlier is we got into the position where we had been so honest because there were no stakes for either of us, right? It's like, maybe this like is a fun fling and maybe it's nothing. Either way, it doesn't really matter. And because of that, it's like we were exactly who we were. And so the relationship was already built on, well, I'm attracted to the person you actually are. You're attracted to the person I actually am. So that's a good start. And then man, I'll be honest, like, and this is why I'm such a fiend. So as you know, she's got a new show called Women of Impact, and I'm always telling guys, watch the fucking show. Because how many times have people said, oh, I wish I could be a fly on the wall for that conversation. You hear how women really talk.
Yeah.
This is the show. So I used to read obsessively Cosmopolitan magazine, Elle magazine, like all of that stuff, because I was like, I want to know how women think. I want to understand.
I aggressively read Cosmopolitan magazine.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I
Like,
aggressively
him just-
read Highlights magazine for children to learn about children.
He's like, so since I couldn't land a single girl, I was like, I'm gonna try to read their magazines and see if I can figure out a way.
I obsessively read 17 magazine because I'm attracted to 17-year-old girls. I don't know. It's very weird.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't want to get married. I didn't care about getting married. That's not for me. I'm not a marriage type of guy. I don't really care about women.
I tried really hard.
I fucking read back to back, cover to cover, Cosmopolitan magazine for years.
He's definitely like he definitely didn't get any any play like until he was 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact, someone said, let me see the comments. Someone said, why don't you just talk to a woman? Yeah, how about I just talk to a woman instead of reading magazines?
Imagine him like sweat, just like, like that would be Tom talking to a woman, like not like coughing, sweating, like just whole fever comes over him, like.
Yeah. Cosmo is probably honestly also not the place to go to learn about women. Like, I used to read Cosmo back in the day, and it's like very much like, turn him on by putting honey all over your body and wait for him while he walks through the door after a long day at the office. Then he'll be so sweet on you. It's like, okay, thanks, Cosmo. No, thank you.
Imagine if he's like late an hour.
Yeah, she's waiting for 3 weeks covered in honey. It's funny. His takes are funny.
Yeah. Let's see what other magazines.
Yeah, what other magazines is he voraciously digesting?
Like, how do they see a relationship? Like, how many times does the joke have to be that guys don't understand women before a guy goes, well, I'm just going to go figure this out? And for me, because I was never that smart, I always had to learn stuff. But I just believed that, oh, things are learnable. You can go read about them and learn. And that was ultimately how, at the time of my life when I was sort of sliding towards depression, it was like, I'm going to go read about the brain and figure this out. So to get into a...
When was that?
Like, the more I learned about women, the more I realized I had no chance.
I was sliding towards loneliness. Every magazine I
A
consumed.
life of loneliness awaited me. And then I saw Lisa.
I told Lisa to sit her ass down, and then I slid back into undepression.
Oh,
So he's going to read about the
Tommy.
brain. He read about the brain to get undepressed. He just
Yeah.
breathed.
I wonder what he read about the brain. Like, is that self-help stuff? Because that's really not about the brain at all.
They always, yeah, I know. They all say like, I'm a neuroscience nerd. I'm like, bro, you are not. You read like self-help books, you know, give me a break. I'm a neuroscience nerd. Like, no, you're not. Shut up.
Yeah.
You know nothing. You know nothing. Just breathe. Count to 3 when you have a bad feeling and your hippocampus will literally engage. You're like, okay.
And don't worry,
you.
Jay Shetty will tell you to breathe a lot. If you guys don't
Just
know,
breathe.
breathe.
Just breathe.
If you forgot to do it today, this
breathe.
is the moment to do it, you know?
Just breathe. Just breathe.
relationship, because I could tell I wasn't good, I started reading all these magazines and trying to figure out like how do women think and all that. And so coming into it, I knew, okay, like across the board, when you ask people that have been in a relationship for a long time, what's the secret to your success? They all say the same thing: communication. So like, how many times do you have to hear that before you go, oh, I better get good at communicating, right? And so what are the tenets of communication? So being honest with somebody, being direct enough to be understood, being a good listener, being caring.
Defining terms.
Which that was not something I ever read. That was something you and I discovered together. We just realized there were times where we thought we were saying the same thing, but we really weren't. So if I said something like, hey, it's really important to me that you X, Y, Z. And I think, man, I said important, homie. And she's thinking, I say important 50 times a day. It's just another word. It's like emphasis. It's like an exclamation point in the age of social, right? If I say hi to somebody and it doesn't have 3 exclamation points, it's like, oh, he iced you out, right? So it's, really figuring out what
the nuances
things mean. We just said, all right, we have to define these terms because we're getting in stupid arguments over stuff. Like people see us now. Keep in mind, we've been together almost 20 years. So it's like, if you saw us in the first couple years, like we would have looked like idiots. So we didn't know what we were doing. We just knew like, there's something here that's worth investing in. And we both bought into communication is the answer. And so let's process through this. And like my obsession with brain science, I will say, served us very well. So I had an inherent distrust of emotions. I didn't believe emotions told you any truth.
So let me tell you about what I read about the brain today.
Brain
And Lisa
science.
would be like, oh yeah, baby, totally, I'm totally listening. keep talking about the
homie.
brain.
What up, homie?
So interesting. And by the way, when British people say it's interesting,
They don't mean it.
never. What they mean is like, I'm bored out of my mind. So maybe that's what he means about not understanding communication. Maybe she was like, yeah, it's so interesting. And you'd be like, oh my God, she loves this.
Yeah. Why does she look so sad? Baby, let me explain my brain science book I read today.
Truth. They just were an indicator that something is going on, but it could be a trigger for you and you've got issues you haven't dealt with. So just because somebody does something that really hurts you and offends you doesn't mean that they need to be punished into submission, right? You may have an issue.
Now, okay, that again sounds like she got upset about something and he's explaining why she shouldn't be upset.
Yeah, she's like, so I betrayed her, but it's maybe her problem that she got betrayed.
Yeah,
I was just a trigger, but she had her own issues. Like it had nothing to do with me. I'm not responsible. I'm not guilty.
She signed up for
It's
this,
just
baby.
all her.
Yeah, she signed up for this when she married me. So really, there's no consequences for me moving forward in this marriage.
Yeah, so it's like my ex, pretty much.
Yeah.
And that didn't end up well. So
You didn't get married for 20 years? I don't think it's going well for them either. Well, for Lisa, at least, I don't think it's going well in their relationship, at least.
no.
Yeah.
I hope Lisa wakes up, but I don't know. I don't know if it's like
maybe.
it's just her not having been aware of what's happening for a long time, or if it's just her personality and she's just going with it.
Yeah, I can't tell. I think the former. I think she might wake up to it and go, am I happy? And then start to like deal with that, hopefully, and decide she's not with him.
Yeah, could
We'll
be.
see.
We're here for it.
We're here for
well,
it.
We're
support
gonna
you.
cover the divorce in no time.
Yes. They're a Rachel Hollis and Dave Hollis scandal away. If they just do a retreat, then they're going to be also on par for divorce.
Oh yeah, and then you should see them shooting themselves in the foot. Like that would be fun. It would be so fun. Like Lisa, get the fuck out of that marriage.
Yeah. Like, come on. Submit to
And
your
so
husband.
us both looking at that
Sorry.
the same way was really advantageous because we were always trying to find common ground. So she has an amazing technique where she'll ask herself, so I've done something that's really hurt her. And she just runs through this mental checklist. Does he love me? Do you believe that? Yes. Okay, if he loves you, do you believe that he did it intentionally to hurt you? No. Okay, if we've got those two things, from there we can build. And so we just started.
Again, like coddle yourself
Yeah,
from
he's
issues
like,
I cause you.
he's like, so I did something, and then she will just do all the work on herself. Like she will ask herself, she will figure it out with herself,
Self-soothe, alone.
and then she will just, decide that she's coming back to me. And I had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah. Like I said, I loved her 7 years ago. So like she knows.
She asks herself all the time, does she love me? And she tells herself yes.
Yeah. She lies to herself and
I
says,
don't even need to tell her. I don't need to tell her. She tells herself that I love her, and that's pretty.
Oh, that's so sad. Oh my God, you're right. That's so sad. She tells herself enough that I love her. Why do I have to say it? Ugh.
Yeah.
Can you imagine saying that in like therapy, couples therapy? Like that's what you say? Like, okay, I
God.
see the problem. I see the issues. I see why you're here.
Be like the therapist would be like, Lisa, can I talk to you for a minute alone? This guy's a narcissist. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. Lisa's not a narcissist. I don't get those vibes. I think she's trying to be what he wants her to be. Like, I don't think she wants to be a self-help guru, to be honest. I don't. She's doing it.
I don't think she wants to be
Despite-
anything.
No.
I think she wants to be a stay-at-home wife.
I think she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, and he's sort of denied her that, so it seems.
That's true. Oh my God. She wants a kid and he doesn't want to give her a kid.
That's what I think.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why not though? They're so rich. Why does he care? Like what?
He wants it about him. He doesn't want to share the spotlight.
I think so.
I think. Maybe. I don't know. Who's to say? That's a personal decision. You don't have to have kids to live a full life. But, you know, it does seem like she wants that.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's nothing in their way. You know, like it's not like he's rich enough that he can have like all the babysitters that he wants. So like it's
Look
not
at
like he
Elon.
would need to
Got like 100 children.
Exactly.
He's fine.
Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't understand what his decision is about.
Yeah.
Maybe
What do you think
he's
about
like,
Laura's question. Do you think she knows or is she still blinded? I don't know. I think she's blinded still.
I don't know. I think she know. I have to. I can't believe that someone would be so like you could be blinded for a while, but I think inevitably like you figure it out. I genuinely think that she just found other ways to satisfy herself. Like you know, I just think she would have lovers. She would have like she would do it. She's doing anything she wants because he's never around. So
Yeah.
she's living a life without him, and then occasionally pretends to be his wife and to be in love. So I think that's what is happening. Like
maybe
she
she's
can't
happy.
be that dumb. You know what I mean? Like.
Some people I repressed a lot of shit until recently. I repressed a lot. I'm like, not memories, but like, you know, things going on. Like, yeah, this is fine. And then I look back now, I'm like, that was not fine. I'm actually very upset about it.
Yeah.
It took me like 28 years to like even open the gate. Like, let me see. Let me examine this. So I can relate. Maybe she's like tiptoeing there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can understand that. And I've done it too in my previous relationship. And but then I was aware those things were bad. I was just, you know, I kept getting over them when I shouldn't have. And so I think that she would be aware, but she's just like, whatever. I will just, you know, I'll keep doing the thing.
She's just keep on swimming. Just keep on swimming. That's her motto, I think.
Yeah, and I think she probably has told herself that the money is like worth it.
I mean, in a way, I guess it is in some ways. And they get divorced. She's probably, but the thing is, like, yeah, they're so rich. They get divorced. She's also fine. So she has a choice at this point. If they divorce, like, she's not going to be penniless, you know, in Los Angeles. She's going to be moving into the mansion down the road.
Yeah, I feel like if he's like going to lose all their savings on NFTs, like I think
out
that
now.
the divorce is like is imminent.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she's in this for what? Because he's never around. She doesn't have any kids. Like what is she in for? Like she's literally only in for the money. That's it.
They can mint their divorce certificate. They can make it an NFT. So it'll live on forever. And she can own it. She's the sole owner of the digital divorce certificate.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
like it. Win-win for everybody.
collecting little things like that were like these tools, and we call it giving the keys to the kingdom. We would tell the other person, like, here's what I'm learning, here's how you can diffuse. If I get angry, here's what you can do to diffuse the situation. And you would say it in moments of what we call emotional sobriety. So you're not amped up, you're not already upset about something, you're just totally neutral. And you're like, hey, remember a couple days ago we had that fight? You know what would have worked? You almost did. I saw you go to reach to touch me. And just so you know, in moments like that, if you touch me, I diffuse. I don't know what it is. It's just the way my neurochemistry is. If you reach out and touch me, I'll fucking chill instantly.
Yeah.
So then the next time you're in a fight, she's like, and you're like, it's all good.
Yeah,
so it's like wanting the other person to win. And that, like, if I had to sum up what we're about, we want each other to win.
I
But
love
mostly
that.
me.
And one you guys certainly have. So
We
let's
want
talk about
me
the
to win.
entrepreneurial
Yeah.
journey.
And by we, I mean me.
We both want me to win. It's all good.
Wait, we got to go on Instagram after this and follow Omar, the rock star.
Oh my god. Oh. Omar, this is cringe. What the
Omar,
fuck?
the rock star. It sort of rhymes. It's close. I get where he was trying to do, unless he is a rock star secretly.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
He's
Probably
a rock star like
podcaster.
Tom is a film director.
Yeah. Oh.
Burn.
He got iced, as he would say. Okay, last question. We got to hear Omar out one final time. Was he your teacher, Lisa? And then we'll wrap it. Because I'm almost positive now that this question must have been in the other video because it was much earlier on. I regret to inform everybody, I think. But I'll just tell a story. Basically, Tom and Lisa were like gonna get it on. They were both naked in bed, and he wrote a poem on her body with lipstick and then left her on the bed and ran down, because I guess they were in London at the time, like left the house. I'm assuming he got dressed. He ran over to her dad's house and asked for if he could marry her while she's laying in bed with a lipstick poem all over her chest and body, I guess.
And her body's very small. Like, how big could that poem be?
Yeah, I don't know.
Will you
Probably a haiku.
Will you marry me? On
A
the
limerick.
second-
It was short. It was an acrostic of wow. Weird I don't know. Weird or wacky. This is hot. I don't know. Okay, anyway.
Yeah.
That was the story. I'll have to find it and
Nice.
cut it. I'll put it on my Instagram when I find it.
Yeah. Well, part 2, we're definitely gonna find it and do it then, because
Okay.
right now we're like half an hour past our bedtime.
Our end time. I know. Sorry. Okay, last one with Omar, and then we're done. And we're cutting it. And then we're gonna do part 2.
Okay.
I know that you guys have a famous story. You know, her father does well and said, hey, Tom, I know you're interested in marrying Lisa, but, my daughter has a certain lifestyle she's accustomed to.
Oh, fuck. I think this
you
might be
have a
the
Buick and not much
part.
else going on.
And even then, he didn't even have the Buick.
He didn't even have
At
the
that
Buick
point,
then,
no,
yeah.
because he was living in London.
So let's tell that story for the audience that may want to rehear that, because I think that's powerful, and what that ended up doing for you motivationally, if that's even a word, motivationally, was awesome.
Hey, if it wasn't before,
It
it
is
is now.
That's okay,
Yeah,
because Tom
it was
loves
intense. So we were
to invent words like mechanistically.
Yeah. Tom would be a
Tom
word inventor.
mechanistically invents words.
Great. He's like, cool. I'm so rich, I can make my own word. I can afford to make my own words.
Yeah.
Damn.
young and in love, and when you're young and in love, that's all you can see. And so for me, the hard part was deciding if I was going to propose. But once I decided I was going to propose, like, I was 1,000% committed.
How old were you from when you met her to when you get proposed?
Very brief.
It's like 9
all
months
foolish.
later.
Yeah.
Oh, 9 months.
Yeah.
I
So
think
this
it
is all
was
within a year.
8, but this is, yeah, it was
Wow.
very fast.
Red
It's
flag.
been
Flag.
3 months of that hot.
What?
Red flag. Okay, wait.
That is such a red flag.
9 months from meeting in school to, or I guess dating.
Gee, it's very early. It's very.
That's-
I would not even trust that I know that person in 9 months. Sorry,
don't. 9 months?
I mean,
You
only
don't.
like 6 months in, you start to see the real deal. Like,
6 years, I feel like you're like still learning. Like,
oh, I don't know. I feel like 5 years and a half was a bit too long.
I know too much.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay, but then she was about to say 3 months of that, something. I don't know. So like maybe even less time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you get proposed.
Very brief.
It's like 9
all
months
foolish.
later.
Yeah.
Oh, 9 months.
Yeah.
I
So
think
this
it
is
was
all within a
8,
year.
but this
And he was your teacher, right?
was, yeah.
Wow.
Very fast.
And we spent 3 months of that apart.
Probably more.
About 4 months of that.
They spent 3 months of it apart out of 9 months. So you spent 6 months physically together.
This is so bad. This is so bad. I'm actually glad they don't have kids, because imagine the fucking wisdom they would impart.
Yeah. I actually spent 6 months with my child before he went to college. I know them so well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird.
Weird. Yeah, very weird. Red flag.
Without social media, there was no texting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy to think. So he's looking, her father is looking at it from that perspective. They're young, they're in love, that's all they can see. But I have a much broader perspective. I know how this kind of thing plays out. It does not
I
end
know
well
better
for
than the
very different
dad.
backgrounds.
Yeah.
And
I'm
you know,
wiser than
he
him.
obviously is, bless him, sweet kid, because he was always so kind to me. But just like what he saw was a young, dumb, broke kid who doesn't show any signs of doing anything with his life.
And was trying to take his daughter all the way to America.
To America without shared, what he saw is without shared values. He didn't realize that was actually what we had in common, and is part of what we should have said.
Her values were totally different from his values. She just said that. And in 9 months, how do your values change that drastically?
Imagine being the dad and be like, fucking hell, like, we want to marry this guy? Like,
This guy, Lisa? Come on.
like, first of all, you don't know him. So
Yeah.
there's that. Second of all, he doesn't even have a car.
He has junk in his Buick. That's all
No,
you've
he didn't
described.
even have the Buick because he was in London.
Oh, okay.
There's public transport.
Can't fault them for that because they have a good tube system.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, all right. It just seems fast. Like I see Kayla says that she got pregnant less than a year, got knocked up less than a year. We got married. We're together 8 years. But you got pregnant, so that
Nice.
kind of like changes the game a little bit. If you're just like dating, I don't know. 9 months seems fast, personally.
Yeah, because Tom didn't want kids, so no way.
Yeah. No way. My dreams are bigger than children's lives. Okay, maybe the lipstick part's coming now. I'm back on to maybe it's coming.
In your early question, how do you make things work? What do you need? You need to share values. And we actually did share values tremendously. Our foundational values are almost identical. Not entirely even today, but almost.
How? Religion? No.
She
Kids?
wants
No.
kids, and I don't.
Yeah. Marriage? He was
They're
not
not
interested.
totally the same because she wants kids, she loves kids, and I say no.
Our values are the same. She agrees with what I say. That's our values. We both agree Tom is always right.
Yeah, we both agree. We want what's best for me.
Yeah. What a great relationship for Tom.
Duh, that's true.
And so that's what he sees. I go to propose to her, but I know that I'm going to have to ask his permission first. So I buy the ring literally like 2 months in advance or something.
And you're broke at the time, so this ring is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
cheap.
Oh my God. So to this day, I'm so mortified at how small the ring is.
Not getting it off my hand as much as he's tried.
Literally,
Wow.
yeah. I want to buy her one that like makes her arm heavy.
And
but
now
she
you guys
won't have
can,
it.
because back
right.
then you
But now
couldn't.
she won't let me.
Yeah.
So it's like, great, this moment in time is stuck. But so anyway, I have this ring. I want to propose to her. I make an appointment with her dad, and he cancels. Make another appointment. He cancels again.
Wow.
I make a third appointment, and he cancels again.
So he just didn't didn't want.
I didn't know about this.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah, 'cause I wanted to
because
be
he
a
wanted to be a
surprise.
surprise.
He lived overseas, or?
No, literally down the street.
Well,
So
wow.
we're in London
Yes,
at this
we're in
time.
London.
Okay, gotcha.
So
okay.
I go to London. I'm living in London for the summer because the school that I work for sends me there. So
How
they were
convenient.
opening a branch in
Well-
London. If I ran through all the I don't believe in fate,
Yeah.
but dude, if I ran through all the things that happened to come together for us to make this work, it tempts me to believe in fate. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But without derailing on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it cancels the third time, and I'm like, all right, this guy does not want me to propose. And I have a bad day at work, and I'm coming home, and I call her or whatever, and I'd say, I've had this really terrible day. And I walk in, and she's done. So we're living at her mom's house.
This is
in
the part,
bedroom
this
that
is
she
part.
grew up in, to give you an idea of where our wealth status is at that point. And I walk into the room, and she's got this carpet picnic laid out.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, to the core of my being, I'm like, this is why you get in a relationship. Relationships are compromise. They're
For
giving
her.
things up. But when they're
For Lisa.
right, they give you something back that is so much bigger than what you give up. And in that moment, I was like, Jesus, to be emotionally supported and understood like this, for somebody to go, I'm gonna turn your day around, it's crazy. Even all these years later, I can get emotional about that carpet picnic. And so we end up having just this extraordinary night. And it's interesting, Tony Robbins said, if you really wanna help make change in somebody, you have to be able to change their state. And she had changed my state. And I was just rocked. And it may have been the first time in my life that somebody changed my state like that. So I was like, whoa.
Never
I went
had a
from,
girlfriend before.
I'm so miserable, I'm so unhappy, to my life is amazing.
It's coming.
And
it's
so
right
we have
here.
this picnic, and we're talking, and one thing leads to another. And I end up writing this poem on her body in lipstick. And I was like, this is the fucking sexiest, most
There
romantic
you
moment
go.
of my life. This is unreal. I want to propose to her right now. And I'm actually really bad at pattern recognition. And for once in my life, though, I knew that the truth of my wife is, if I don't ask her dad, it'll never be a beautiful moment for her. No matter how romantic this evening has been, it just won't be right for her. So she's laying there naked with this poem on her body. And I'm like, this is not going to make any sense, but I have to leave right now. And she was like,
Imagine that.
okay.
It's like, it's okay, Tom. It's only 2 minutes.
Hey,
I
Tom,
think you can wait 2 minutes, right?
I'm good. I got lipstick on me, but it's fine. This is wacky. I want to know what the poem is. I do. I want to know that detail. Guess we'll never get it. Okay, I'm so glad though that we made it. I was like, all right,
Yes,
one more
wait.
question, and here we are.
That was glorious.
I trust you. So I got dressed, and I literally ran down the street to her dad's house.
With an
knocked on
erection.
the door out of breath.
My dick was so hard; it was guiding me through the streets.
When I got to her dad's, I had to shove it down so that he doesn't notice.
Yeah, oh, I wonder why you're over here, son. I have an idea of why you might be asking me this question.
breath. And he and his wife are like, Tom, it's good to see you. Come on in.
Why do you have an
And, I
erection?
said, look, I wanna,
Tom, how's it hanging? Literally. Why is it not hanging?
Oh,
propose to your daughter. And I want your blessing to propose. I never asked for permission. I knew better than that. But I want your blessing to marry your daughter. And he said no. And
Wow.
she had
He said no. And he said no. So, of course, I fucking did it anyways. Yeah,
no, I
right, true.
lost my erection right there.
I lost my chance at happiness and my erection immediately. The Tom Bilyeu story.
Sorry if this was too graphic for you guys.
It's okay. We're all adults here, hopefully. If you're a
Yeah,
child,
oh my
turn it
God.
off.
This is
Please.
18 rated.
It's 18 and plus. 18 plus.
warned me. She's like, look, my dad is going to grill you when she first introduced me to him. And he's going to grill you. I've never brought a guy home to my dad before. And when I say that the guy hardly looked at me, I was like a little hurt. I was like, wow, he does not take me seriously. He does not think I am here to stay. Ouch. And after that, he was always kind, always very pleasant, even tried to help teach me, which I was not open to because I still had a closed mindset. And
Teach you about business.
Yeah, talk to me about business. And so all of those things lead him to accurately identify, and that's what I want people to understand. He accurately identified me as someone who was at that moment going nowhere, which was absolutely true. And so he was like, the grilling that she had promised just came out. And he starts asking question after question after question. And the final question was, Tom, I was born in a small village in Cyprus, which until I met her, I never even heard of Cyprus. And I took myself from there at 11. I moved out and was on my own. And I went to school in the mountains in this village in Cyprus. I mean, it's just like this crazy tiny beginning. And I worked my way to getting a job in this company just through sheer hustle, and then ultimately working my way up from this tiny village to running one of the largest shipping companies in the world and living in one of the greatest metropolises in the world and being very successful. My daughter has become used to a certain lifestyle. How do you plan to take care of her? And
through
YouTube
videos about inspiration.
Get what you see. And what you see right now is a broke, uneducated kid from Tacoma. And I said, that's fair. But I'm the most ambitious person you've ever met. And one day I'm gonna make your daughter rich. And he said,
I hope.
I hear you.
The fuck? This whole fucking family, no offense to the family, but it kind of, guys are fucking, your priorities are fucked.
I mean, I can understand the dad, like, to a certain extent, because, like, she's dating this loser guy, and he's like, fucking hell, Lisa.
Well, yeah, I get that part, but, like, how he's like, I'm going to make her rich, and the dad's like, all right, I'm on board then. That's where I'm like, okay. That's
No,
weird.
I don't think he was still.
Oh.
I think was he? Like, I don't think he was for a while.
I don't know. He's saying, like, I'm going to make your daughter rich, and then he...
Yeah, but I don't think he, like, the dad bought into it. I think he was like, sure, dude, yeah.
Then I'm back on board. Okay, I'm fine. The family's fine. I was gonna say,
I
if
don't
that
know,
was the
but
thing,
I don't think he did. Like, maybe he tells us now, but I don't think he accepted for a while. No.
I don't know. I forget the story. The only thing I remember was the lipstick poem, and I couldn't hear anything else. So
Yeah.
it's stuck in my mind. Yeah, I don't trust him either. I think the dad was right. I don't think the reason was because he was poor. I think the reason was because he's weird and he's controlling and he thinks he's the best person ever. And at that time, especially, he had not proved himself.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm the most ambitious man. You know, it's like, no, you're not. Like,
Yeah.
not yet. At
How
least,
so?
like,
Explain that.
yeah.
I don't know.
I think at that point he did have one inspiring story, which was that he wanted to go to UCLA film school, and he had really bad grades in high school, and he was like, okay, I'm definitely not gonna get in. And then eventually he did get in, but into UCLA, not film school, just general, and it's not what he wanted. And then he spoke to like a professor there or someone, like whatever, and they told him like if he gets like really good grades the first year, he can then try and transfer. And he did get like the best grades, so he managed to transfer. So I guess that was like an inspiring
Something.
moment. But other than that, I don't know if at that point in his life he had sort of anything to prove that he had ambition.
Yeah, I don't really see that either from the stories I've heard. Especially when it's like, oh, in school I didn't really care. I didn't really study. I didn't really try. It's like, okay, well, so it's just the future version. I guess he did prove himself after the fact, but like at that point.
Like he became ambitious. He definitely became ambitious.
Maybe because of Lisa, honestly, because he needed to keep her. So maybe he became ambitious because of her, but he'll never say that in a million years.
Yeah. No, I think he does say it, no?
That Lisa made him ambitious? I think he thinks he's the most ambitious person in the world on his own merit, on his own.
Oh, right. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
And everyone's saying Rachel Hollis says she's the most ambitious person ever. Yeah. That's what she does.
They
say.
all are.
They all are the most ambitious person you've ever met. Rachel Hollis is also
the best, goodest, good girl you ever met in your life.
Wow. Okay. She's not problematic. We know that.
She's not problematic.
I am not problematic.
Yeah. um, the thing is, like, I kind of feel for him, like, in that moment. Because imagine being like, just asking for someone's hand, and then their dad is like, "Fucking hell, you're a loser. Get out of here!" Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty, like, it's a soul destroying moment.
That's
like, I think
true.
he's like downplaying it, but he probably was crushed.
Yeah, it definitely hurts your ego, I would imagine, to be told no, you know, like to your girlfriend. But also, like, I think the time, like, give him time, give the family time to get to know you, give the family time to, like, give Lisa time to get to know you too. I think sounds more fair too. Like, okay, I'm not getting my blessing yet. Let's, like, pump the brakes, bro.
Like, chill out. Let's wait a couple of years.
Yeah.
Let's see about
What's
that
the
ambition
rush?
you keep talking about.
Yeah, exactly. What's the rush? And maybe he saw that she's the daughter of a successful businessman. That's his ambition. He's gonna go for her because of him. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that was probably like a big factor, because imagine getting crushed like that. Like, I think it could very, I can see someone being motivated by that soul crushing moment. You know, it could be like in the movies where it's like all is lost.
Yeah.
And then everything turns in your favor. I think
Yeah.
there's probably people who would be motivated by that. Probably myself included. If I was crushed like that, I would probably want to prove them wrong.
Interesting. I think I'd be like, all right, I'm out. I tried. I
Sorry,
did my best.
Lisa. Just
Lisa,
remove
it's
the
been nice knowing
lipstick.
you.
It's all good.
I'm going back to my original thought of that this was a casual fling. To me, 9 months is a fling, personally. Like,
yeah. No, I think at that point they were talking about it being a fling, as in, like, they wanted it to be a fling because she was leaving the country, because she was in the country for, like, I don't know how many weeks. So I think at the 9-month mark, when he had moved to London, it was probably like,
yeah,
not a fling anymore.
manifest destiny.
Yeah.
But
But he didn't want to create like a company in London, like, because
I know, weird.
London is huge for business.
Yeah, especially with connections like the dad's. I wonder, and this is just my own question mark, I wonder, because I'm assuming the company that he was a part of might have needed some startup capital, if Lisa's dad had anything to do with that, as he's like a shipping magnate.
Do you mean like Quest, or do you mean the
I mean the
company
first one, the tech company. Maybe he brought in capital from Lisa's dad, and that's why he was like asked to be a member. Because I've been so confused as to why he's been asked to be a part of these companies. Like, I'm confused at what he brings. But if there was money from her dad, that kind of would answer that question, and we'll never know.
Oh, well, I feel like he would have to say that because the dad is seeing these interviews. You know what I mean?
I guess, but I don't know.
You
Dad
think?
speaks. Well, I guess he speaks English. I was gonna say dad's from Cyprus.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't speak English. I don't know. There's something in my mind that goes.
Well, he did talk at one point about like how he, or I think, did he talk about this, or I saw it in Savi's screenshots? But Savi, I think Savi probably posted these screenshots, in which he was talking about the fact that he had remortgaged the house or something like that to invest in the company, and Lisa had no say in it. He just came home and he was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm gonna sold our
How'd they
house
buy the
type thing."
house? How'd they afford a house if you can't afford a car?
I don't know that
Lisa's
part.
dad. I don't know. I'm just, like,
Probably, yeah,
explaining
maybe
the story
that part.
my own way, my own biases. I don't know. Just thinking, because I'm always like, okay, what does Tom bring? And I'm always confused. He's like, oh, I'm a copywriter, but he was a film teacher like previously. So like, how did this guy get involved? And I think he goes, hey, I have this lump sum of cash. I'll help you. It comes from my wife's dad. I want shares. And then all of a sudden, now he's a player.
I think that's probably what happened but that money came from the house that they had.
That the dad bought them.
Maybe the dad bought it. Maybe they're both their families contributed, because that's what happened with me and my ex. And he also comes from like a middle class family, so I'm assuming that they may have helped as well, you know, so maybe it was like a 50-50 situation. But it definitely wasn't 50-50 when he took the decision to just kind of invest that without telling mortgage.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Or, well, he told her, but like once he had taken the decision, and it was like, yeah, just so you know, by the way, we're doing this.
Yeah, that's not okay. And I'm sure she was like, okay, he's like, just ask yourself, do I love you? Do I care about you? Can't be mad.
Don't ask me. Like, I'm busy.
I'm off the hook once again.
Thank you for the shout out. Yes, I feel like I've just built like my bicep right now.
Right, I know. I got a new one. I don't know if you can see it. I got a new arm thing to hold it, so I don't have to like. The mic before used to be here, like blocking half my face. So now I have a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah,
I like it. God, I pulled new sound bites, but I only added new Rachel ones. I was like, I thought I added some different ones, but apparently not.
Damn it.
I know. Want to hear one more?
We need to diversify into
more
I need sound bites.
More Tony Robbins bites.
Oh God. Oh.
I only have one.
He looks
most to see a person die.
He looks very rugged lately.
He's gonna be the keynote at Monations, the Monate conference.
Maybe he wants to be like one of these like method actors who was like, I'm gonna die on the stage, because he looks sick.
Well, he's got issues. He's got health issues from the past, and he just wrote a book about doing like 25 treatments, like stem cells and shit. So he's probably a cyborg at this point.
But I thought you can like heal yourself with that book, no?
Yeah, I think it's all about what you believe. I think it's all about like your mindset, I think.
Yeah, but he doesn't believe, like
he don't believe? I believe.
He wrote the fucking book.
I sound like Tony Robbins all week until today.
Nice.
I sound like a little more feminine version of Tony. Oh, Tony. Tony.
I recently just saw like his wife pop up in an interview, and I was like, what's going on here? She's taking over the business.
Uh-oh.
She's like, Tony is
under the weather.
Have long, so I better get this party started.
Dang, all the kids are gonna start coming out of the woodwork and trying to take over.
Yeah. Oh God, the success entrepreneur.
Yeah, Jarek, I think his name is Jarek. He's the one. He lives in Puerto Rico. He's fiending for that title of guru.
Oh yeah, he is. Like his dad was not your guru, but he is definitely your guru.
My dad might not be your guru, but I am. My life is pretty crazy. I'm Jarek.
Exactly. Thank you guys for being here for this. This was not even, we didn't cover a lot. But this was so much fun.
I love it. I'm a huge fan.
I like these like more reactive type videos. Let me know what you guys think.
Yeah, same.
Enjoyable, because I love these. Like I'm just having so much fun.
I know. Part of me is like, should we just like watch influencers videos and just like critique them?
Yeah.
Just like random ones, like pick 2 a day and like, all right, let's review.
Yeah, the thing is, I feel like, because the way that they talk, especially with people like this, like Tom and Tony Robbins and stuff, like especially Tony Robbins, like he says like 100 words a minute. Like it's very easy for him to just jump from one scam to another. Like, so you do have to pause and go like, wait a minute, what
Hold
did
up.
he just say? Like,
Yeah, let's
I
research
literally
that.
have to do this all the time when I'm listening to him, because I'm like, wait, he just said the most like problematic things. I was watching recently, like he went on Impulsive, and
I
or
saw that.
Impulsive went to him.
I think they
Rather.
both went to each other. They did each other's thing. Because I think he
Oh,
went on
really?
Impulsive
Okay.
too. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so I think I was like, these guys are not like reacting because he's saying so many things, but like they have no time to process what is being said. And occasionally when they would be like, wait, what do you mean? Like, I'd be like, oh, thank you for pausing the
Yeah.
uninterrupted like scam chatter.
Well, Rachel Hollis did not say a word. He just like literally went off and off and off and off. And she's like, oh, wow. Like, give me more. Like, ugh, come on,
Yeah, I think he definitely like is a misogynist and he prefers the boys. So
He hates his
I think
mother, okay? Like, we all know, like, we know by now he hates his mom, probably rightfully so, but don't take it out on every other woman that's existed.
yeah, but with the guys at Impulsive, you could see like
They're on board
you
with
could
that.
see that he is a lot more like receptive to talking to the guys than he's ever been with any of our faves. Like, oh my god, like, you're so big, dude. Like,
You're
like in the chat.
tall. You're tall, bro. You're so tall. He's like, oh, thank you. Thank you. Here's my book about how to be tall. It's amazing.
Yeah, literally, he said he had a pituitary gland tumor or something on his pituitary gland, and one of the guys at Impulsive was like, "Oh, how can I get that tumor?" I was like,
That's pretty funny. I like it. I'm a fan. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of those things that's like, like, I feel like Tony Robbins takes himself so fucking seriously. It's like someone who can actually crack a joke at him. I'm like, all right, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, they did a good job of that, but they didn't do a good job of like keeping him in check with all the scams, like that
Oh,
part.
yeah, of course. They're probably legally obligated not to question any of that.
Yeah, exactly. Just like pretend I didn't hear anything. Like,
Yeah. I think we should also, and I might do it on my channel, but we should talk about it too at some point. Like Jenna Kutcher literally becoming Rachel Hollis, like
yeah,
following every single thing that she did, like 5 years later, because she's gonna speak at doTERRA now, and that's where Rachel spoke as the
I saw that.
keynote. Yeah, I think that's a good.
But like I'm not even like remotely surprised. Like Jenna's audience is the same exact audience that all the self-helpers have, and that is like a vast majority of the MLMs. Like all of them have the MLM audience, all of them.
Yeah, and she's definitely one to be down for a scam because she hangs with Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins. Or not hangs with them, but like will endorse them, will sell their bullshit products. So she's fine with MLMs, I'm sure. She probably is down to clown.
She pays like Dean Graziosi like $100K an hour or something, no? Because she's he is the mentor.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Is she that stupid? Is she
like,
that stupid? Like, that would be so stupid of her.
But I think that I believe, I don't know if like the number is what I believe, but I believe that you have to pay to get into that group. I just don't think that those people would like just be like, oh my God, this person is so impressive. Let me bring them into the self-help inner circle. Like, I don't think,
I think
I think they are so scammy that they would never like allow anyone to, because even the way she made it, and I read this, I made a review like 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago or something like that on my channel about the book that she just came up with. She does not say how she transitioned from one company to the other, from being a photographer to being a painter. She painted like I don't remember, like watercolor or something, and then she sold that on merch. I'm like, okay, but how did you grow the audience? Like, who bought it? Because I had merch, and like 2 people bought my merch. Like, it's not quite like, oh, I just sold merch. Like, how? And then
Instagram.
when she. And when she then transitioned to being a podcaster again, she doesn't talk about how she made that. transition and why she got that idea in the first place, etc. But she does say that she went to Lewis's mastermind. So I think she did, like, she literally had to pay her entry into that
Into the
group.
group.
Like, there is no way these
How'd she
people would just
afford it?
allow her.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course she could afford it. Yeah. She was an executive at Target.
What's her boyfriend or her husband's name?
Drew
Drewy.
Kutcher.
Drew Kutcher. He's the abs man. The hot hunk.
Oh, yeah.
We need to
The
deep dive
hottie.
into him. What does he do? What is his job?
Stay-at-home dad.
CEO of her company? That seems to be the
Yeah.
the style too.
Yeah. She's very proud of that.
That's good.
Just like Tom is very proud of Lisa
Yeah.
being a stay-at-home wife.
I make the money.
At least he has kids, like,
Yeah. The difference is stay-at-home wife is not as
yeah.
impressive, I guess, as
There's nothing
stay-at-home
to do.
wife or stay-at-home mom.
There's nothing to do, and now she doesn't even have to clean because, they have money. So,
Right. I got another soundbite.
She cleans the toilets.
yeah. Not anymore.
She cleans the toilets.
So, yeah. But thank you guys for being here. This was great.
Yeah, this
It was
is
nice
super
to have
fun.
you back, Kayla.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back. I'm gonna have to get some tea in me so I can soothe my throat. I think by next week I'll sound normal again. Hopefully, unless you
Yeah.
like this voice, then I'll keep it.
It actually does sound pretty good.
I'm a podcaster, baby. I'm
Ooh,
a radio
yeah.
DJ.
I say take advantage of this voice as
Yeah,
long
do
as it
all my
lasts.
voiceovers.
Just this reminds me of that scene from Friends with Phoebe just getting sick and sounding sexy, like when she was singing.
yeah, I'll just record an album in the background, like an acoustic album.
Yeah.
All right, here's some Bob Dylan for you.
Fantastic.
Elvis.
I would buy that.
And on board, hound dog. That's Elvis, but
Yeah, I know you want to sing, so go ahead. Come on.
all right, ready? Ready? And on board a hound dog, crying all the time. Ain't never caught a rabbit, but ain't no friend of mine. Meow. Is that good?
Nice.
Thank
That was
you.
great.
Thank you. Thank you so
I'm
much.
impressed.
I'm going to be method acting as Elvis for the next 12 months, so get ready.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Well, let's call it.
Yes.
And next time we will try to keep it at an hour and a half, I'm sure.
Yep, we'll do better. That was probably my fault.
We have succeeded once, I think.
I know. God, it's so easy just to keep going because it's so fun and so funny.
Yeah, no,
We'll
I
do- we'll
agree.
do better.
And we
We'll
never
figure it
have
out.
enough time in an hour and a half. But
Well,
we
yeah.
kept getting demonetized before to the point where we were making zero money. So it was like, okay, we need to
Let's
stop.
try. Yeah. So we'll check and let you know what happens with this one. But we'll be back next Thursday.
Next Thursday, yes,
Same time,
at
same
12
place.
p.m. EST.
Yep. We'll talk about somebody. We'll let you know.
Yeah, yeah. In the meantime, what I will say to everyone, including you, Kayla, is stay legendary.
Oh. Okay. Thank you. And I will say to you,
What excites me most is see a person die.
Nice.
on that note,
Mechanistically perfection.
toodles. Maybe by the time we come back, there'll be a
Bye.
divorce announcement. We can announce it. We'll be on
Oh,
divorce
yeah.
watch.
I'm watching. I have my own notifications on.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. Lisa is like my favorite, my close friends.
Lisa, text me when you're done, when you're out of it, when you're safe. Okay, I'll play the last one. Everyone loves this soundbite. Last one.
I will slowly buy you a boat.
That's everyone's favorite. I don't know why. Okay.
Excellent. Okay.
Peace. Love and
Bye,
light.
everyone.
Bye.
Peace and love. Light and love.